to win the game and make up a game on a team that's ahead of them. They're arch rivals. The bad news is there's a pretty good pitcher on the mound for the New York Yankees here tonight.
Yeah, CC Sabathia. He struggled a little bit here in Fenway. That gives Boston some help. But CC, if he gets his fastball into both right-handers and left-handers, keeps them from extending and using the green monster, he will have a successful night. He's off to another hot start. 21 wins last year. The big fella's ERA right now, 1.38. Hitters are hitting below 200, so he's on his game. He just doesn't have a victory to show for it yet, but he is definitely the ace of the Yankees. And as a 31-year-old, 157 victories.
Pretty impressive. One of the players who will be watching with great interest tonight as Sabathia takes the mound is one of his rotation mates, A.J. Burnett, who's standing by with a buster only.
A.J., going into spring training, you were one of the big question marks. You've had 2 good early starts. What's been pivotal for your turnaround?
To be honest with you, it's confidence. It's confidence and focus on the mound where, a lot of things I can't control. I'm starting to understand that. And, more or less you realize that the better off you're going to be. The things I can't control and just go at it one pitch at a time, and it's been working.
Now, this is the 3rd year that you've been playing with CC Sabathia. What have you learned about him that you didn't know before?
I didn't realize how much of a horse the man really was. I mean, how much he throws every year and the numbers he puts up. And he's always humble. He's never content with being mediocre. So, I'm sure if you asked him about last year, he would say he wasn't too good. But he's fun to be around and a great guy in the clubhouse, man.
AJ, thanks. Now with the Red Sox, here's Wendy Nix.
Buster, thank you. I'm here with Clay Buchholz. Clay, the club announced today you've agreed to a 4-year contract extension, locking up another member of this rotation long-term. A rotation, however, that has struggled in these first 8 days. Compare your confidence today as a rotation, as a unit, to opening day.
I think we were confident opening day. It was just a fact that we matched up against a team that's heavy hitters, and it hadn't gotten any easier through the last week or so. But everybody goes out and they know what they need to do. They prepare good. We all know how to prepare, and that's how we're going about it every day.
As you well know, this Yankee lineup is potent, it's powerful, and often patient. What's the one thing Josh Beckett must establish early?
He's going to do what he's always does. He goes out there and he throws his fastballs and he pitches off that. And I think that's when Josh is at his best. He's throwing his 4-seam for strikes and then mixing in his other stuff for strikes too, and trying to get these hitters off balance, which is, like I said, it's hard to do. But I think Josh, he can definitely do it.
Clay, thank you. Dan?
Wendy, thank you very much. A busy show here tonight. In addition to the Yankees and the Red Sox wrapping up this series, we will show you some of the stars of Sunday around the major leagues. Also, we'll look at the showdown, the rivalry between the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. And one of the big stories in baseball this week, the sudden retirement of Manny Ramirez. All that and more coming up from Fenway Park tonight as the Yankees get set to take on the Red Sox. Josh Beckett, CC Sabathia, these old rivals meet again here at historic Fenway Park.
up here. Did you forget about me? I've been here all winter long, working hard, watching the ice float on the Charles, laughing at the Harvard boys hitting on BU girls. So where have you been? I've been here, 660 Beacon Street, since 1965. They turned me off for a bit, tried to take me down, but I'm a survivor. They closed the Elliott Lounge, but not me. I made it through winter, a long winter. But every winter leads to spring, and I've been waiting, looking down on the barren bleachers, the silent press box, the long shadow of the monster. Everybody's waiting. My 218,000 bulbs are charged like lightning in a bottle. Baseball is here again, and there's only one place I'll be. Follow me if you like. I'll lead the way.
One of the most recognizable landmarks here in Boston, the Citgo sign, just beyond the left field wall, beyond the Green Monster outside Fenway Park. You're looking for the ballpark, find the Citgo sign, and you're close. The Yankees and the Red Sox here on Sunday Night Baseball, the rubber match of a 3-game series between the 5-3 Yankees and the 1-7 Boston Red Sox. You can follow Buster Olney and Wendy Nix on Twitter tonight. And you can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/ESPN Baseball Tonight. The manager of the New York Yankees, Joe Girardi, feels pretty good about his team so far. He said, hey, we're winning series. Took 2 out of 3 from Detroit. Took 2 out of 3 from Minnesota. Got a chance to take 2 out of 3 tonight. He said, you keep winning series, you're going to win it all. As we show you the batting order for the New York Yankees tonight, and one late change. We'll get to that in a moment. Brett Gardner, Derek Jeter, Mark Teixeira in the top third. Alex Rodriguez, a late scratch because of illness. Robinson Cano moves up to the cleanup spot. Curtis Granderson 5th, Nick Swisher 6th. Jorge Posada is DHing into batting 7th. Eric Chavez takes the place of A-Rod tonight. And then Russell Martin, who has had a great start to the season, including 2 home runs yesterday here, is catching and batting 9th. The starter tonight, Oral, for the Boston Red Sox, Josh Beckett. What a big start they need from him.
Well, they do. He is the leader of the staff, the emotional leader, the work leader, but he needs to be the leader tonight in throwing strikes. His strike percentage is down, especially when you look at it over his whole career. 07, 66.1. Let's go all the way down to 10, and he's down to 62 as of last year. And those 106 pitches against Cleveland Indians only took him through 5 innings in his last start.
Defensively behind Beckett tonight, in the outfield, Carl Crawford in left. Mike Cameron in place of Jacoby Ellsbury in center with a left-hander on the mound, and Sabathia. Terry Francona gets Cameron in there. J.D. Drew is in right field. On the infield on the left side, Kevin Youkilis, Marco Scutaro, Dustin Pedroia, and newcomer Adriana Gonzalez on the right side. And Jason Varitek is getting a start, catching Josh Beckett tonight. Dustin Pedroia is off to a great start with the bat. We talk a lot about his offense, but Bobby, pretty good defensive player as well.
Defense and heart and soul. Before the game, during batting practice, Terry Francona stood with him for 20 minutes, getting some solace, getting some advice, knowing that he really is the heart and soul of this baseball team.
It was pretty quiet around the Red Sox when Pedroia was injured last year. He's also the noisiest guy in that Red Sox clubhouse. Brett Gardner's going to lead it off for the Yankees. The left fielder is off to a 192 start so far on the season. Derek Jeter on deck. Mark Teixeira hitting third. This is the alignment against right-handed pitching with Gardner leading off. As he shows bunt, takes up and away, ball 1. Against lefties, Derek Jeter is the leadoff hitter, but he'll hit second against righties. And the Yankees are scoring a lot of runs in spite of the fact that both Jeter and Gardner not getting on base all that much. The Yankees are hitting for a tremendous amount of power in the early going. 18 home runs in the first 8 games of the season. That is the most in the major leagues.
A team that led the American League in runs scored last year and is making some sounds this year early.
Of course, Gardner not really the guy you're looking for when you're thinking of power. Just try to get on base any way he can and use his best asset, which is his speed.
Talked to Joe Girardi about the home runs. Is he worried all the production is coming from that? And he said no, I'd be worried if it was only from one person or 2 people. But his lineup, 4 different guys homered yesterday in the lineup.
Out of play, 2-2. Mark Teixeira got off to a quick start for Joe Girardi's Bronx Bombers. Hit 4 home runs in his first 5 games. He's cooled off, but he's got 4 of the 18. 2/3 of their runs have been scored on home runs long term that's not the best way to go about it. But long term, those numbers aren't going to be like that. This is a team that obviously can score in many different ways.
And Teixeira off to a good start this year.
Breaking ball, and he got him. Beckett strikes out Gardner. Derek Jeter. They don't appear to like him very much here.
He's been here before.
Yes. Derek Jeter, 16 years with the New York Yankees. His numbers from last year, career lows, as you can see, in a couple of categories, generated so much discussion off-season and into this season about where he is right now as a player, his future. There was the new contract negotiation. People dissecting his ground ball to fly ball rate, his toe tap. I mean, I don't know that any player in baseball was scrutinized as much in the offseason as Derek Jeter was. Hitting .233 so far this season.
Dan, we were out in L.A. last week, as you well know, and talking to Derek's ex-batting coach, Don Mattingly. The one thing he stressed about all hitters is you have to be on time. You can't be late. Derek has been late for over a year now. He's got to catch up. Start earlier.
Kevin Long, the batting coach of the New York Yankees, has been working with Jeter on starting earlier, on changing his stride. He got rid of the toe tap for a while, Bobby. Now he's gone back to the toe tap, but it's just a question of starting the bottom half earlier?
Actually, it was an idea that Kevin had to shorten his swing to have less movement, but it's really about timing.
There's one piece of that change, though, they've tried to keep, which is the direction of his stride. Because Derek had a tendency during the toe tap time to tap and move closer to the plate and block himself off a little bit. But now they're trying to get that stride direction to be more straight at the pitcher.
And the way they've done that is right foot is a little closer to the plate, so he's standing a little more open, so he doesn't step as closed.
Count in his favor. Swing and a miss, 3-2. And so far in the early going, Josh Beckett appears to have a little more life on his pitches than he did in his first start of the season.
If you've been noticing the velocities, they've been around 94 miles an hour with the fastball, and that is an uptick for Josh Beckett right now. Remember, we had back problems and shoulder problems last year. There are bad habits that can creep in, especially when you get back into competition, not in spring training, and that's what he's fighting through right now.
Jeter with a ground ball to short. Backhanded by Scudero. 2 down.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to pound them with fastballs, Dan and Earl. And once again, the fastball beat Derek. He hit a ground ball to shortstop. His right foot's a little closer to the box, but he's late with this leg kick. He's late getting started. Consequently, this ball gets by him. You see how he crept a little closer with his right foot to try to get in there, but his timing is what the problem is. This isn't a mechanical problem. This is a timing problem.
So 2 down for the Yankees here in the first, and a curveball drops in for a strike to Mark Teixeira, who has hit 4 home runs already this season. That's the good news. Hit 33 last year. Traditionally a very slow starter. He's now 0 for his last 15 after getting off to that quick start.
He bought himself a batting machine this year and started hitting a month earlier than he usually does, and usually he only hits off of a tee. This year it was live BP.
And worked out, I believe, at Bobby Valentine's hitting facility in Stamford, Connecticut.
As a matter of fact, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there with Frank and all the boys, and he's one swell guy. He actually left the batting machine there. Thank you, Mark.
That helps the bottom line, doesn't it?
That's a very nice thing.
So that's now a permanent addition to your facility?
Amen.
Nice.
Very nice.
Who you having in next winter? What else do you need? Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Well, the one good thing about Mark Teixeira being a switch hitter, he didn't wear out the net on one side or the other. He probably gave you equal opportunity on wearing the net out.
It was a joy for people to be around this young man because he is truly a gentleman.
Curveball pulled foul. Josh Beckett trying for a 1-2-3 inning here in the first inning. He's looked good so far. Striking out Brett Gardner, getting Derek Jeter on a ground ball. The Red Sox have had just 16 1-2-3 innings in their first 8 games. That is the fewest number of 1, 2, 3 innings in the majors. They've got some ugly pitching numbers. Curveball and a swing and a high drive pulled foul down the right side. The Red Sox team ERA, this is hard to believe, is over 7. The ERA of their starting pitchers is even higher. It's at 7.46. Beckett, Lackey, Buchholz, I mean, guys with resumes. And their ERA is about 7.5 as a group so far on the season.
You think about this starting staff, they have only one quality start, and they actually lost that game and wasted it.
But if you take a 162-game season, every staff will go through a stretch like that. Unfortunately for the Red Sox, it started the season that way.
A little more significant doing it right now.
Teixeira battling again, the 2-2 pitch, and he gets a piece again to extend the at-bat. And this is as much of a fishbowl environment as there is in a baseball. I mean, there are others, but as Terry Francona said to us before the game, this is a hard place to have a bad week.
Well, in the fishbowl environment, everything is analyzed. And one thing that I read here in the Boston Globe was that in 2 strike counts in his last outing, 12 foul balls. They started saying that Josh Beckett might not have a put-away pitch.
If he breaks that curveball off, it'll put him away.
How about the 2-seamer that runs back over the inside corner for strike 3 call as he finally takes care of Teixeira and gets the Yankees in order. Baseball on ESPN, the Yankees and Red Sox. As the Yankees go in order against Josh Beckett in the top half of the first inning. Let's check out the Red Sox lineup right now, presented by Taco Bell. Carl Crawford is in the leadoff spot again. Dustin Pedroia is the hottest Boston hitter. Adriana Gonzalez is batting third. Kevin Youkilis off to a slow start. David Ortiz DHing into batting fifth. Mike Cameron getting a start against the left-hander tonight. And the bottom third of the order, J.D. Drew. Jason Veritek is catching into Marco Scutaro, playing short and batting ninth against one of the best pitchers in the game today in CC Sabathia.
6'7", 265 pounds. That's 25 pounds lighter than last year. And the svelte CC thinking about longevity and stamina. And if you look at that innings per start, the stamina is already there, but I think the longevity will help because he already goes a lot of innings per start. As you see, third in the AL last year.
He'll face Carl Crawford to get it started. Crawford, the big offseason free agent acquisition by the Red Sox, began the year hitting third. And the feeling was he was most comfortable hitting second or third. That's always been the story on him as a Tampa Bay Ray. But he struggled so badly that after just 2 games, Terry Francona moved him to seventh, then to second, and then he went to him and he said, listen, can you hit first? I want to put you first. What's the deal? And Crawford said, yeah. He said, I can hit first. As he grounds one to short, Jeter One down. And Terry Francona says, Bobby, the one thing he does not want Carl Crawford to do is to change anything because he's hitting first. He's not your prototypical patient leadoff hitter, but he's got great speed, and first is where they'd like to hit him.
He wants him to be aggressive at the plate, make things happen when he gets on the bases, and they need to see that here in Boston. He stole a couple bases the other night, which was a good sign, but they need to see him try to dominate the game like this little guy does when he plays in Dustin Pedroia.
6 for 9. Pedroia in the series so far. Had 3 doubles yesterday. As he'll look at a strike. And how about in his first 4 years in the majors, he's won Rookie of the Year, he's won MVP, he's won a Silver Slugger, and he's won a Gold Glove. Not bad for a guy they said was too small, too slow, didn't have enough of an arm. What were his tools? Everybody wondered about them. The guy's turned into an incredible major league player.
They forgot to measure his heart.
You're right.
He's got all those trophies, but he's always at the ballpark. He's here at 9 o'clock in the morning, never gets a chance to shine them or look at them and enjoy them.
One and two, the count on Pedroia, who has really struggled in his career against CC Sabathia. Hoping to turn that around here tonight.
I'll guarantee you there's nothing in his head that tells him that he's struggled against CC. He is out there working. The past is gone, and he is gamer in present tense.
Now to play. And that's the 2-strike swing there. Cut it down a little bit. You got to admire the way he plays the game. I mean, he's going to give it everything he has on every ground ball, every swing, every minute he's on the field.
Well, he doesn't really have a 2-strike swing, and hardly anybody does, really, Dan. The good hitters use one swing in BP and use one swing in the game, and that's an aggressive swing.
And he is certainly that. Trying to come inside on him. Left it out over the plate, and Pedroia lines it into center field, a base hit.
Lazy breaking ball that kind of stays in the middle of the play. You see they're trying to get it back on his back foot, but he leaves it in the middle. Pedroia does a great job of staying on time. The barrel of the bat arrives at the same time as the ball, right there just barely in front of the plate, drives it up the middle. Petey's on it. CC's got to deal with him on first.
Man at first, one down, no score in the bottom of the first. Pedroia now a ridiculous 7 for 10 so far in this series against the Yankees as Adrian Gonzalez fouls one back. The Yankee first baseman or the Red Sox first baseman, with the changes in the lineup, and Crawford hitting first. Now Gonzalez goes up to the 3 spot, and I know from doing our game last week in Arlington between the Red Sox and Rangers, Bobby, you think this is exactly where he should be.
Yeah, this is where he should be. He looks like a third place hitter in a Red Sox uniform.
Center field, Granderson, 2 down. Pedroia back to first. That'll bring up the cleanup hitter now for the Boston Red Sox, a guy who's been so good and so consistent the last few years. And you can hear how the Fenway faithful welcome him to the plate. Kevin Youkilis, who is really scuffling in the early going, hitting just $125.
Before the game, it was amazing to see Terry Francona praise his hard outs that he had the other day, one at the shortstop and one to the outfield.
You would have to believe, knowing the intensity oral that Youkilis has. I mean, some guys grip the bat a little bit tighter when they're scuffling, but that's kind of Youkilis's personality. This has really got to be getting to him.
Well, he is really wanting to help this team. There's one thing that they love to do on the Boston Red Sox. They are a team and a unit they expect to win, and he takes it personal. Even if he takes an 0 if the team wins, he's fine. But the intensity's turned up when they're losing.
Just outside, a ball and a strike.
Kevin Youkilis is struggling. But you remember last year he had a hand injury. Now, hand injuries mean you don't always want to get jammed. And one of the things he's struggling with right now is the fact that he's not staying back. They're trying to keep him to stay tall and watch the ball. Start early, but keep the body back and then drive the ball. But I think people start early when their hands hurt, and that's what he's been doing, kind of rolling over pitches and getting beat with a curveball.
Let's not talk the staying back stuff now.
Well, I know.
Start giving me a headache with that kind of terminology. What he wants to do is start early. And actually drive the ball to right field and left field like he did in the first game of the season. Just hasn't been there since.
Bobby, have you ever, on here or in Japan, ever seen somebody with a setup like Youkilis has, the way that top hand gradually comes down the bat?
Well, not really. I think I've seen as weird of stances and setup as anyone, but when his front foot comes down, he is as regular and as perfect as any hitter in baseball. This is all just for show right here.
Right center field, a base hit. Pedroia around second. And it'll be Red Sox on the corners with 2 down.
Yeah, he has his hands very high, Orel, but as that front foot comes down, his bat is in a launching position. Here he stays inside the ball, as they like to say. As his foot comes down, he hits through it. And an upward plane. Here's the weirdness of his stance. Then he'll put his hands together. He'll drop his hands down and then get his elbow back up before he swings, just like every other good hitter who's ever lived.
And funny how for a guy like Youkilis, he might be happy to see CC Sabathia on the mound. That gives Youkilis now 10 hits and 23 at-bats in his career against the big lefty. Pedroia around to third. Youkilis at first, 2 down. And here's David Ortiz, lefty on lefty. Big moment early here in this game as Ortiz takes a strike. Big Papi, traditionally the last 3 years at least, also a slow starter. He's got a couple of home runs so far this year, and you can see he had only one in the entire month of April a year ago. The Red Sox as a team hitting just .215. And really what they've done worst of all offensively, guys, is hit with runners in scoring position. You did a double take when you looked at the box score from yesterday's game. The Red Sox went 1 for 17 with runners in scoring position in the 9-4 loss to the Yankees yesterday. And just 197 as a team on the season. Broken bad roller towards second. And Ortiz cannot cash in any runs here as the Red Sox leave 2 men on in the bottom of the first. Robinson Cano is going to lead it off for the Yankees when we come back in a scoreless game. Saw some of the faces of some of the great players on these two teams. Of the 50 players on the active rosters, 30 of them have appeared in at least one All-Star game in their careers, including the guy on the mound and the guy at the plate. The guy at the plate has turned into one of the best all-around hitters in baseball. Robinson Cano moving into the cleanup spot tonight. A-Rod a late scratch with flu-like symptoms, so Cano moving up from 5th to 4th. And Cano off to a very good start on the heels of another great season last year, as he hit over 300 hits for power, drives and runs, a ton of doubles, great career numbers against Beckett. With Cano and Pedroia, we got two of the very best second basemen in the game.
And only one of them could start the All-Star game.
High and deep to right field. Drew back. On the track, makes the catch. Just shy of the 380 sign for out number 1. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And in part by MLB 11 The Show. Welcome to next level sports gaming, only on PlayStation. Well, Fenway barely held that one. If Cano pulls it just a little bit more, he would have taken Beckett deep.
Home run in Yankee Stadium. Glad they're here in Fenway for Josh Beckett.
Here's Curtis Granderson. He moved up from 8th to 5th in the Yankee pregame lineup shuffle. Second year in a Yankee uniform for Granderson. He's hitting just 192 so far. Does have a couple of home runs. And one of the real good guys in the game, Curtis Granderson, just loves coming to the ballpark every day. Happy to see everybody, it seems. Here's the 0-1 from Beckett. And it's fouled back 0-2.
Josh Beckett had 4 good pitches to Teixeira after the 2-2 count. Showed the good curveball. Teixeira fouls it off. Then he comes back with a 4-seamer in. Look at the spot on that ball. Now he comes with a changeup below the strike zone with good depth, but really locks him up with a 2-seamer in. There was a day when Josh Beckett just needed 1 pitch to put you away, but right there, 4.
Slicing down the left field line off the bat of Granderson, but foul. And that pitch, or that last pitch he struck them out with, 95-mile-an-hour 2-seamer. So has some action back over the inside corner. That's a nasty pitch.
That's a pitch that Greg Maddux perfected and brought into the big leagues. That's a pitch that in my day was supposedly a mistake because the low and in was a critical area for a left-handed hitter. That was their sweet spot. But as the outside corner expanded, you needed to get some kind of inside strike on a left-handed hitter, and that was the pitch that was established.
And you can see a bit of a flinch from Teixeira on that last pitch from Beckett, and that's what Maddux would have get so many times. The hitter kind of gives up on it, right?
Dan, this is 95 miles an hour, and that's what Terry Francona said Beckett needs. You start it right at the hip of the hitter, and it literally comes back over the inside corner. You can't swing at it.
Curveball fouled off.
It was a pitch then Mariano Rivera took from having his cutter outside to righties and started throwing it cutter inside to righties right at their hip also. Kind of like the backup 2-seamer that a righty would throw to a lefty, but Rivera does it with a cutter at the right-hander's hip.
So Granderson's got a lot of different pitches in his mind from Beckett as he tries to stay alive. Beckett out in front of ball and 2 strikes. Pulled down to first. The sure-handed Gonzalez for the second out. So 5 in a row set down by Beckett. Now he'll deal with the Yankee right fielder Nick Swisher. Swisher hit 29 home runs a year ago for the Yankees, looking for his first so far this season, hitting .241. Has driven in 6 runs in 8 games so far. And we're going to show you some live K-Zone action. As the pitch is coming in, you'll be able to watch along with us exactly what K-Zone thinks about it.
I like it. I wasn't sure. This is our first try at this, and I really liked that. I was afraid that maybe it would get in the way of the viewer, the pitch, but you know what? I like the fact that it's a little bit like the yellow line in football, where the first down is. This is the strike zone. You get to see where the ball could be for a strike.
Well inside on that cutter. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And the crew chief behind the plate, Mike Winters, is a very good balls and strike umpire, and I'd be surprised if he doesn't agree every time with our strike zone.
Foul ball. The count 1-2.
I really love the way it shows an outline and where Varitek is setting up with his glove. A lot of times targets in the big leagues are half on, half off the plate because you're trying to throw a borderline pitch. Sometimes the glove is completely on the plate and in the strike zone, and other times they're just completely off the plate. And here, within the box, we can actually see where Varitek wants the ball. Real interesting that was a curveball at 76 miles an hour, Dan, and the target wasn't something for low. So Beckett must love the fact that I want my target where the ball's going to start, not where it's going to end up. You'll see catchers do a different target on a curveball when you're trying to strike somebody out, where they'll pat the ground and put their glove below the strike zone. But for Varitek and for Beckett, their communication is a glove where the ball starts, not where it's going to end up.
Throw it to the glove and let the action fall out.
Back to the curveball to strike out Swisher and end the inning. A terrific start for Josh Beckett tonight. 6 up and 6 down. 3 of them strikeouts through his first 2 innings of work. Bell. Welcome back to Fenway Park in Boston. Dan Shulman, Bobby Valentine, Oral Hershiser, Buster Olney, Wendy Nix, and Carl and the Baseball Tonight gang. Everybody here in town for this game between the Yankees and Red Sox. Of course, Baseball Tonight on the road with us each and every weekend over the course of the season here on Sunday Night Baseball, where there is not an empty seat to be found. Here, of course, with the Yankees in town. Mike Cameron leads off the inning for the Red Sox and takes a strike from Sabathia. Cameron, the 4th outfielder on this team. All 3 starters are left-handed batters, so he figures to get in there against lefties, with Terry Francona spotting him in, sitting somebody out against a tough lefty. Ellsbury out of the lineup tonight as Cameron takes high. Doesn't hurt that Cameron is 7 for 14 in his career against Sabathia. Pops him up. And Teixeira there for out number 1. So for Sabathia, this is his 3rd start of the season. The first 2 have been very good, although he didn't pick up a win. He pitched very well. But there is some concern in the Yankee rotation. And I think, Orel, the greatest concern right now probably has to do with Phil Hughes and kind of an alarming lack of velocity so far.
Well, he's 2 to 3 miles an hour down, and his fastball naturally, even at higher velocities, is pretty straight. So he needs the velocity to deceive the hitters and create some anxiety. So when he's 2 to 3 mile an hour down, that's tough, and he's got to have more location and more depth on his breaking stuff. He doesn't have that right now.
J.D. Drew, the batter. Freddie Garcia is the 5th starter, and he's going to get a start. They've also signed Kevin Millwood and now Carlos Silva. So Joe Girardi and the Yankees are trying to build up some depth. That 6th, 7th starter. They've got Bartolo Colon working in a long relief right now.
I'll tell you what, Bartolo Colon was in relief the other day, and he was impressive. The 2-seamer at 92 to 94 miles an hour. The fastball was good. The changeup was outstanding, and the mound presence was the Bartolo of old.
Here's the big guy. He got the loss the other day, but did throw 4 good innings for the New York Yankees.
Drew laces a ball into right field for a base hit. What a good swing on that one. A 1-out single, the 3rd hit already for the Red Sox off Sabathia.
Yeah, J.D. Drew is known as a perfect-looking swinger. He stands there, and he has all the mechanical properties that a good swing has. He gets firm. He gets off his back foot. He always comes up at the ball. He finishes high. And it's just a pitcher-perfect swing. Thing is, he doesn't time that many pitches consistently enough to be the great player that many people thought he would be when he was the number 1 draft choice.
Got himself a base hit at first with 1 out for Jason Varitek. Varitek has had only 2 at-bats so far this year. Jared Saltalamacchia is getting the bulk of the playing time behind the plate for the Red Sox. Varitek trying to mentor the young catcher who has struggled with the bat and struggled throwing the ball as well.
Well, getting Josh Beckett on track is more important now than getting Saltalamacchia on track, so that is why Varitek is in the game. Saltalamacchia caught Beckett in his first start. They had problems getting to certain signs, and Beckett is definitely more comfortable right now with Varitek.
When we look at the Red Sox, not only a new catcher is the number 1 guy in Saltalamacchia, Bobby, also a new pitching coach in Kurt Young. John Farrell now the manager of the Toronto Blue Jays. So 2 pretty significant changes considering where the Red Sox are as a team, the expectations they have, the veteran pitchers they have. Young formerly with the Oakland A's. To center field. Granderson is there for the 2nd out. Some pretty unique seats up there above the Green Monster. One of the many additions that's been made to this ballpark. Over the last 10 years, they've spent $285 million to upgrade this park over the last 10 years. Some new video boards in this year. There they are. A big change. Did some work on the concourses and the concessions and so forth. But they have still retained the feel, I think both of you guys would agree, of Fenway Park.
It's still a slice of baseball heaven.
There's a strike, 1-1 on Marco Scutaro, the Boston shortstop. Hitting just 143 so far this year. One of 5 Red Sox hitters who entered the game hitting under 200.
Well, the way Josh Beckett's throwing thus far in this game, a couple runs might be all that he needs, but they'd love to get him a lead.
Breaking on top is something the Red Sox have not done this year very often. We talked to Terry Francona. He said, what would 2 or 3 zeros do for you? He said, let our offense breathe a little bit. The rotation has been so bad that they've always been battling uphill. And that is tough on an offense when they haven't found their swings or their rhythm yet. And you also have some new people here with Carl Crawford trying to find his legs as a Red Sox. Gonzo at first base has swung the bat well, but the starters, they need to help the Red Sox get on track.
Ball 4. Sabathia walks the number 9 hitter in Scudero.
So with Crawford coming up, this is a big chance, a big opportunity. This will ignite the crowd and give credence to the signing of the new left fielder for the Boston Red Sox. They need some credibility in that signing right now in the minds of many of these fans.
Hit a ground ball to short his first time up. He's the leadoff hitter in the lineup, but he's supposed to produce some runs right now with 2 men on, 2 down in the bottom of the second. And again, remember how the Red Sox struggled with the runners in scoring position yesterday, 1 for 17. Crawford, though, did a great job last year with Tampa Bay. Hit .359 in these situations, drove in 90 runs on the year. Wouldn't he endear himself to the fans here in Boston with a timely hit? Not going to get it as he pops it up at a shallow left center field. Granderson there, and the Red Sox again will leave 2 men on against CC Sabathia. A look around the majors from a busy Sunday with a Baseball Tonight gang when we come back.
It's terrible, and another breakout. That's the Phillies baseball right now. They're not focusing on the homer, scoring runs with singles.
But they're scoring, and the White Sox are scoring, and the Texas Rangers are scoring, and the Red Sox aren't scoring very much. What's the difference?
No, and it's continuing in this game tonight. Yeah. CC Sabathia shutting them down when they have a chance. They've left 4 men on base already in these 3 innings. And you just see the at-bats, the approaches that they're taking in these key situations. They're pressing, and that's what happens when you're in a losing streak. You press.
But Josh Beckett is not pressing. Josh Beckett is giving them exactly what they need. Hopefully the offense can pick it up.
Back inside, Dan Schulman.
Carl, thank you. And a good breaking ball from Beckett to get things started here in the third as Jorge Posada, the Yankee DH, takes the strike.
Okay.
Beckett threw 2 innings, 6 up, 6 down, 3 strikeouts. His pitches have velocity, they have movement. He looks very crisp as he faces the bottom third of the Yankee lineup. Beckett last year went just 6-6 and had an ERA of 5.78. As Posada, now 38 years of age and now a full-time DH. He's the emergency catcher, the third catcher, but he's the full-time DH for the Yankees. A ball and 2 strikes. One of the biggest problems that Josh Beckett had in 2010 was the New York Yankees. Beckett gave up 20 home runs during the season. 9 of them came in his 5 starts against the Yankees, during which his ERA was in excess of 10. I'll make your numbers ugly in a hurry. He comes back here, though, and gets a swing and a miss from Posada for his 4th strikeout already tonight.
as Barry Larkin mentioned, Beckett's got it all going. Here's this curveball that Posada swings at and over. It breaks down and out of the zone. Terrific pitch. He's got it going, Earl.
And Earl, you know what's interesting is Terry Francona told us before the game, a little trouble with the fastball, a little trouble with the curveball. The changeup has actually been his best pitch. We haven't seen many changeups tonight because everything else is going so well.
He's got the 4-seamer, the 2-seamer, and the curveball. If you're locating those, you don't have to go to the other pitches. The other reasons you develop a large repertoire is that not only can you throw the pitches, but the other pitches, your main pitches, need help. But when your other main pitches don't need help, you can be a 2-pitch pitcher and be very successful. You can be dominant. If you have 3 pitches, you can breeze through a game.
There's a swing and a base hit into right center field for Eric Chavez. The former Oakland A All-Star who got his first start of the season yesterday had 3 hits. And now in place of the under-the-weather Alex Rodriguez, he's got a base hit in his first at-bat tonight.
Must be nice to be the Yankees and have an all-star out of the lineup and an all-star in the lineup ready to hit this ball up the middle. Super slow, shows the swing, shows how it comes up, shows how he gets firm, shows how he gets off the back foot. Wonderful swing. An all-star replacing an all-star.
There's another guy who's been an all-star, Russell Martin, the former Los Angeles Dodger.
Well, both of these two gentlemen, Chavez and Martin, I'll tell you what, when you have great ability but don't have health, it doesn't come through. But both of them are now healthy. Martin, knees are now healthy, and he is really producing. And Chavez, his back is healthy.
For 2-3 years with the Dodgers when he was healthy and when he was an all-star, Russell Martin was one of the best catchers in baseball. Played a lot and played the game with passion and aggressively. And you can see the numbers he put up. But he was more than even what those numbers would indicate. But last 2 years with so many injuries, hip surgery, the Dodgers did not re-sign him. And in fact, both of these teams talked to Russell Martin. But the Yankees were a little more aggressive in pursuing him, Martin says. The Red Sox may be a little bit more worried about his health. And it's worked out awfully well for Russell Martin, especially, Bobby, because Joe Girardi says he might catch him about 150 games this year.
He wants him to catch 150 games, and Cervelli's on his way back, about 3 weeks away. He's doing a heck of a job the first 8 games of the season.
Curveball and a strike. Boy, he has snapped off some nasty curveballs tonight.
Well, when your arm speed is there and the fastball increases, that means the arm speed can go into rotating and spinning the ball for the curveball. And even when it's at the height of most hangers, the rotation and arm speed on that ball made it break even though it was up. When it breaks sharp and it's up, you know you have a nasty one.
Outside, 2-2.
You know, Russell Martin is the only major league catcher now that has not missed an inning. And we talked to Joe Girardi about resting him or giving him an off day. He says, well, he'll get off tomorrow. And we said, Joe.
With the rest of the team.
Yeah, the whole team's off. He goes, I know.
Perfect. Right.
Hasn't missed a beat, hasn't missed an inning so far, Russell Martin. No score, top of the third. Chavez at first with 1 down. And the 2-2 from Beckett. Hits him. Fastball runs right in on him. And the Yankees have 2 men on. Martin appears to be okay. Coverage of Major League Baseball continues this week on both ESPN and ESPN2. Tomorrow night on ESPN right here at Fenway Park again. It'll be the Tampa Bay Rays. They're 1-8 right now as they come to town to take on the Red Sox. And then at 7 Eastern, Wednesday on ESPN2, Wednesday Night Baseball presented by Sears Lawn and Garden. It'll be the Philadelphia Phillies, who are off to a terrific start this season, taking on the Washington Nationals. And Roy Halladay is scheduled to pitch for the Phillies on Wednesday night. Cole Hamels gave them a great performance, even though they've got some injuries, Utley out and so forth. That pitching is living up to expectations, and the Phillies are off to a good start, 7-2 on the young season. The runners will not advance after that pitch just squirted through Varitek a little bit.
Gardner's speed is going to make this Boston infield pinch, not only for the double play, but the possible bunt.
Yeah, they're pinching at third where Kevin's in about 3 steps in front of the bag. Chavez, before that pitch was thrown last time, was thinking about stealing it right behind his back.
Up the middle. Nice play. Pedroia for 1 and 2. He turns the double play to get the Red Sox off the field. You've got to do everything right to turn a double play with a Brett Gardner getting out of the box, and Dustin Pedroia, good range, and gets a lot on the throw to first. 4-3 on the double play, and the inning is over. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN from Fenway Park. The live K-Zone makes an appearance again here for the second time. We saw it earlier in the game as well. As you can see, as the pitches are delivered, if they are judged to be in the strike zone or not. And again, as Oral talked about, you can see where the catcher is setting up relative to the strike zone. In this case, Russell Martin, just outside. And I know you've said a lot, Oral, that sometimes a catcher should just set up over the middle of the plate and let the natural movement on the pitches take the ball to the corners, right?
And he has to do that in concert with the starting pitcher or the pitcher on the mound. So sometimes the pitcher doesn't want the target there. But it feels like as the in-coach game, the coach inside the game, that sometimes it's like the guy's got great movement. He's not throwing strikes. Let him throw the ball down the middle, but your pitcher has to want the target there too.
2 balls and a strike on Dustin Pedroia, who's already got a base hit tonight and just made a terrific defensive play to turn the double play that ended the top half of the inning. Up high, 3 balls and a strike. 6-7 CC Sabathia facing 5-7 Dustin Pedroia. But the big guys want a Cy Young, the little guys want an MVP. And the little guy's 2 for 2. And as we mentioned, turned a very nice double play to end the last half inning. Bobby, what'd you like about it?
Well, as he made this backhand, he stepped on the bag with his right foot, and it's just like pushing off the rubber. He's there, he leaps, and that transfers the energy up into his throwing arm, and he makes a very strong throw. He's a very good player.
I was impressed with the fact that he got such a good jump on a changeup from Beckett. He could have been cheating to his left, but he did not read that in a way that he just played it true to form and waited for the ball to be hit to make his jump.
So Pedroia now 2 for 2 in this game, 8 for 11 in the series as Adrian Gonzalez stands in. These guys have a chance to be just a deadly combination if they stay in these roles in the lineup. Pedroia hitting second and Gonzalez hitting third. Gonzalez, a left-handed batter with tremendous opposite field power, as much as anybody in baseball. He pulls one this time, and it's a fair ball down the line. Pedroia will make the turn. And the Red Sox have runners at first and third with nobody out here in the third inning.
I think he might have wanted that to be a foul ball, Oral, or he just made a very poor pitch. Was it a breaking ball or a changeup? Something very real off speed that he was hoping to get him out in front. He was out in front, and sure enough, Oral, take it from here.
It looked like a breaking ball to me. Let's see. Yeah, it's a slow curveball. CC has very versatile pitches. He'll change speeds on them all the time, but you could see Adrian Gonzalez again with an upswing, as Bobby says, a firm front side, and super slow-mo, just a little bit out in front of it, and he got it down the line and kept it fair.
So the Red Sox threatening again. They left 2 men on in the first inning. They left 2 men on in the second inning, trying to break through against Sabathia here in the bottom of the third. Youkilis with a base hit back in the first. He's had a lot of recent success, and a lot of success period in his career against Sabathia. The Red Sox, as mentioned, were 1 for 17 yesterday with the runners in scoring position. 0 for 2 so far tonight.
Dan, they say hitting's contagious. Slumps are contagious also. Right now they have the sickness, and it's up to Kevin to cure the ill.
Lays off, very patient hitter, not showing any signs of over-aggressiveness, with a chance to drive in some runs, even though, as you can see, he's been awfully good at driving in runs in his career. David Ortiz on deck. The count 3-0 on Youkilis. And a strike. Sabathia pitching very well in his first 2 starts of the season against the Tigers and against the Twins. Going a combined 13 innings and giving up just 3 runs on 8 hits. But he is in a jam here tonight. Outside, ball 4, bases loaded, nobody out.
Youkilis hasn't hit very much this season, but that's his 10th walk, so he has been on base. It seems like CC's not throwing to the third base side of the bat to the plate at all. He's staying on that one side of the plate. Everyone knows it. He jammed Big Papi last time on that side of the plate, and here's Larry Rothschild trying to figure out what's going on.
New pitching coach for the Yankees, formerly with the Chicago Cubs. Larry Rothschild for a number of years.
Well, CC has a lot of confidence against David right now. Just in short-term memory, the broken bat, he threw him an excellent fastball in, and then a breaking ball that snaps his bat off. But the fastball in before this pitch set it up. David had to flinch a little bit, came off the breaking ball, and it hits it right off the end of the bat, shatters it.
What a great look that is.
Especially for a pitcher.
Live K-zone. First pitch swinging, ground ball to second for 1 and 2 as the Yankees get the double play, but Pedroia will come in to score. Gonzalez to third, 1-0 Red Sox.
Wow. The umpire is running everyone back, saying that Kevin Youkilis was out of the line trying to break up this double play, and I think he's going to try to have the runners return to their base and not have that runner score. I don't believe that that's the call that can be made there. Mark Wagner, I mean, this is a situation where he's nowhere near breaking up the play. And for some reason, Mark Wagner is calling the runners back to their bases as though he interfered with the play.
So it is still a double play, but the other runners are not allowed to advance.
Here's the play with Youkilis coming down. Now, you know, there have been 2 people who have already been injured at second base. And here's a situation where Derek just jumps over him. His hands are there. There's a flip from Robbie. Kevin goes in.
But you have,
sure he's out of the.
Yeah.
Sure he's a little out of the line, but my goodness, we saw Billy Hall go over the base the other night to get Hanley Ramirez. Go.
I understand what you're saying, but isn't the rule of thumb that you need to be able to make contact with the base with either your hand or your foot?
I mean, that's what they say, but hardly ever is it enforced, and especially in a situation like that where the contact is very negligible. But
I'm not sure he even made contact.
Maybe with his hand.
Barely. Yeah.
God.
An unusual call. And so the Red Sox don't get a run. Second and third, 2 down all of a sudden for Mike Cameron. How often do you guys, in those set of circumstances, to take a run off the board, send the runners back, how often do you see that?
Well, first time for everything for me.
First time?
I think so.
Mark Wegner, the second base umpire, making the call.
Not to bring focus on myself or the 59 scoreless, but I had a play like that saved the 59 scoreless.
Yes.
Where Brett Butler slid out of the baseline, and the umpire called him for sliding on the baseline, and it saved it because it was a first and third situation. Here it is the same type of thing. He goes out of the baseline, cannot reach the bag.
There's the 1-1 and a weak ground ball left side of the infield. Charged at third by Chavez. Won't have a play. And finally, barring the unforeseen here as we wait just a moment, finally, the Red Sox get a run and lead 1-0.
Change up off the end of the back. Full swing. Chavez playing back. Came in. Fielded the ball off his right foot. Had to take the 2 steps. Never was able to collect himself and to get a grip on this ball to try to throw Cameron out at first. And they do have a lead for the 14th time this year.
Finally get their first run. It's their 6th hit through 2 2/3 off CC Sabathia. The batter now J.D. Drew, who had a solid single his first time up. So first and third, 2 down, a run in. And again, the play that happened is Youkilis called for going out of the baseline. And because of that, even if the next runner, Ortiz, had been safe, he would have been called out. They would have gone to the double play, right?
Yes.
Because of the interference. But
yes.
Above and beyond that, any other runners, in this case the runners at second and third, nobody is allowed to advance a base on a play where there is base runner interference. So that's why the runner who scored, Pedroia, was sent back to third, and the runner who went to third, Gonzalez, was sent back to second.
Exactly, Dan. Very good.
It's confusing.
It is confusing, but you explained it perfectly.
Thanks for writing it out for me. 2 balls and a strike on Drew.
Well, because the offense made the mistake or the infraction, they are not allowed to gain anything. So you send the runners back.
Right.
And remember, folks, it's interference when the offense does it and obstruction when the defense interferes with the runners trying to run.
Look at that breaking ball. 2-2.
Well, CC has not been on his game completely. Of the first 15 batters he's faced here tonight, 6 of them hit line drives. So the Red Sox are putting some good swings on him. They just have not gotten the key hits. Gotten the one dribbler here from Cameron.
And a 2-out hit is just what the doctor ordered.
Won't get it from Drew. Another breaking ball to strike him out and end the inning. The Red Sox finally get a run, albeit on an infield hit to bring it across, and they lead 1-0 at the end of 3 with Jeter, Teixeira, and Cano coming up for the Yankees. Top of the fourth inning, the Red Sox lead the Yankees 1-0 here on Sunday Night Baseball as Derek Jeter leads it off against Josh Beckett. And a strike taken. Beckett through 3 innings has given up a base hit. He's hit a batter. He has struck out 4, looking like a much different pitcher than he did in his first start of the season. Pitching right now in the 4th spot of the Red Sox rotation, behind Lester, Lackey, Buchholz. Swinging a foul tip. 94 on that fastball. The count 0-2 as Jeter, Bobby, again just having trouble catching up with the heat from Beckett.
The way he's falling all over the plate, you can tell that he's starting late. It's all about balance, and when you start early, you're able to have your balance through your kinetic movement of the swing. When you start late, you're falling all over yourself. Derek doesn't have very good balance right now.
Here's the 0-2. Got him. Strikeout number 5.
Josh Beckett has had all his pitches working tonight. Derek Jeter sees a couple cutters in this sequence. Little cut fastball here, 91, gets a strike. Now he goes back to a 4-seamer that doesn't move, and now he goes back to another cutter at 90. A little bit of movement and a lot of velocity. And I think he really worked him high and away, knowing that Derek is late, knowing that the velocity, I'm not going to slow the ball down to your bat speed and let you hit it into fair territory. If you make contact, it's going to be down the right field line or foul.
Hard up in the way is the hardest pitch to get your bat to. It takes the longest to get there.
Teixeira chases, and the count is 1-1.
You could throw hard up and away and get a hitter to swing at it. It's the hardest place for the head of the bat to get up to, and Derek's having a lot of trouble with it.
Well, Veritek showed him everything he's got.
Well, the fun part about going through your whole repertoire with your catcher signals is you have the capability of throwing them all. And so when you're having a good outing, it's not a bad sign because you have all the weapons. When you are having a bad outing and not good stuff and not very good location, they're going to all those signs because you're unsure of yourself. He's sure of himself. He's shaking to those pitches.
And the one he shook to last pitch, that was the changeup, right? The wiggle with the 4 fingers. So
he
threw an
hasn't thrown many of them.
89-mile-an-hour changeup.
Yeah, it might have been more of a 2-seamer. The catcher really doesn't care when nobody's on base about the velocity of the pitch. He cares about which way it's going to break, but he doesn't care about how hard it's coming in. Where they care about velocity and what the movement is when somebody's on base, because they want to catch it in their throwing rhythm.
He loses to Teixeira, 1-out walk. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell, is brought to you by One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of MLB, specially formulated for men. With Bobby Valentine and Oral Hershiser, also Buster Olney, Wendy Nix. And the Baseball Tonight game, we're here at Fenway Park in Boston, top of the 4th inning, and a 1-0 lead for the Red Sox in the rubber match of this 3-game series. Robinson Cano will be the batter with Teixeira at first and 1 down, and we'll revisit our live K-Zone again as Beckett battles Cano.
Earl, we said that it was okay to shake all those pitches off, but it really seemed like Josh got out of his rhythm standing on the rubber all that time, and now he's got to collect himself because this is a very important part of this game, very important part of this Yankee lineup he has to get through.
There's a base hit for Cano. Teixeira will stop at second, 2 on with 1 out for the Yankees.
Yeah, Bobby, you talked about his rhythm and that might possibly have gotten broken. That was one of the reasons that I came up with giving signs to my catcher so that we wouldn't have to shake through so many of those. And sometimes pitchers can do that from the mound prior to anybody looking.
Yeah, he made a pretty good pitch here, Earl. Huh? With the cutter up and in. Looks like he got it, fisted it. Only great hitters are able to put this ball in the fair territory in the center field and not get a broken bat. He's a pretty good hitter, that Robinson Cano, and he's going to be for a long, long time.
You saw on that replay that he really got the ball in on him and almost broke that bat. The bat actually had the flex in. It looked like it was about ready to shatter, but he got just enough of the head on it to get it out to the outfield.
How do you not let it frustrate you, Oro, when you make a pitcher's pitch and the guy still gets a base hit off you?
Well, you let your captain go out to the mound, as Varitek did, and let him know that this is the part of the game he's got to bear down on. Good job by Jason Varitek right there after that pitch.
Well, he skinned his knee on this inning, but he hasn't started to bleed yet. So this is not stop the bleeding time, but you've skinned your knee a little bit. You got to come back and get some outs. He has better stuff than his last outing. You see that 3 1/3, 59 pitches? Well, it took him 106 pitches to go through 5 against the Indians. And against the Indians, he only had 3 swing and misses. He's already got 8 in this game.
Back to the curveball when he needs a strike, 1-1. The hitters have seen the 4-seamer, the cutter, the 2-seamer, the curveball, and now this inning more changeups as well. So they've seen everything that Beckett has. He's really mixing his pitches. Changeup for a strike, 1-2.
Coming back from shoulder problems and back problems, it could take an outing or two to really have the confidence that you're completely healthy. It could take the Yankees and Fenway Park and the adrenaline to forget that you were ever hurt and be aggressive enough. And that's what I'm seeing tonight in his mechanics. There is nothing about maybe my back's okay, maybe it's not, my arm, what's going on. He is competing.
And another big strikeout, number 6 for Josh Beckett.
Once again, I give an assist to the captain there. Going out to the mound after Beckett backed up third base, got him back into the game, said this is where we have to go. Here's that changeup that goes away right on the corner, and then a blazing 93-mile-an-hour comeback fastball. See you later, alligator. Now with two outs, really have to concentrate.
Wait till I tell Granderson his nickname's Alligator.
Nick Swisher, the batter, he struck out his first time up against Beckett. Teixeira at second, Cano at first with 2 down. And a strike. Swisher wanted to double check with Mike Winters, the home plate umpire, that was a strike. Did it in the right way, though. Didn't make it obvious. He was turning on the umpire, kind of was very discreet about the fact that he was talking to the umpire.
Again, that 2-seamer was in the zone and then went out of the zone as it got to the plate. Mike saw it as a strike.
Now the cutter up and in.
You think about a fastball away that Swisher thinks is wide, but it's a called strike. Now a cutter up and in just to get him off the plate inside. Remember the comeback fastball that Teixeira struck out on. That could be the finish-off pitch for this at bat.
After this changeup, I agree totally.
Get him thinking away that he's got a guard out there, throw something at his hip, and then catch the inside corner sometime in this at bat.
Goes to the curveball, gets a ground ball out to Pedroia. Inning over. The Yankees leave a couple of men on to the bottom of the 4th here at Fenway, but the Red Sox still leading 1-0. He's 1-0. Time now for FaceTime, presented by Edward Jones. Our Buster Olney with the Yankee manager, Joe Girardi.
Joe, what are you seeing in these two starting pitchers so far?
Well, I mean, they're throwing the ball good, and both of them have had made pitches when they had to. And, you know, CC almost got out of the inning with the bases loaded there and nobody out, and he gets the double play ball. And then Cameron hits a slow roller. They were not able to make the play. But, I mean, they both know how to pitch in these situations. They both know how to get out of situations, and that's what they've done.
Before the game, you made a lineup change with Alex Rodriguez. Tell me how that developed.
Well, he's got some flu-like symptoms, so he's not feeling very well. And, hopefully it's only today, and we'll be able to get him back when we get home on Tuesday.
Joe, thanks. Dan, back to you.
All right, Buster, thank you. We go to the bottom of the fourth, 1-0 for the Red Sox. Jason Varitek leads it off against CC Sabathia. As Joe Girardi mentioned, the Yankees are off tomorrow. They head back home after the game tonight. They'll begin a series against Baltimore on Tuesday and then Texas on Friday. Varitek with the ground ball to short for the first out.
Yeah, well, CC has this step where when he lands, his foot will land just a little closed. A lot of pitchers will point that foot totally at home plate. He's just against that foot a little, so his foot's pointing into the left-hander's batter's box, if you will, and that will always keep him strong and never get him outside of his delivery. Just a little closed rather than all the way open, really firm and against that side so that he can keep his balance at all times.
What do you mean by so he won't get outside of his delivery?
Well, if he steps so that his toe is pointing toward the right-handed batter's box, his knee will open up, and when his front knee and foot open up, his body will drag the arm through, and that can cause injury. When you step a little closed, it's like a shot putter and a javelin thrower. When they exert the force through that motion, there'll always be a little blocking action. So it stops and pulls.
That same firm front side that you talk about with hitters.
Absolutely.
Sabathia has never been on the DL with an arm problem. He was on the DL twice when he was with the Indians with an oblique strain. Marco Scutaro is the batter for the Red Sox. The shortstop walked his first time up. Sabathia won 21 games last year, led the American League, finished third in the league in Cy Young voting. Won 19 games the year before. In 2007 with the Indians, went 19-7 and won the Cy Young Award. And as Oral was talking about a little bit earlier, 157 wins. Is this a guy who could get to 300?
I don't think the 300-game winner is extinct when CC Sabathia is in the game at 31-157. The last guy to do that before 31 was Greg Maddux at 166.
He will turn 31 on July the 21st. Well, an all-conference tight end. How'd you like to be a defensive back trying to slow him down when he catches a pass over the middle? Has danced for charity. That would also be a sight. Then probably closer to 300 pounds than he is now. He's lost 25 pounds, as we mentioned, now to 265. Crawford pops it up and catches a break as it gets out of play.
He backed off the cereal intake.
Captain Crunch.
Anything with a cartoon he doesn't eat now.
He said he ate 15 times the recommended daily amount. I don't know what the recommended daily amount of Captain Crunch is.
Well, what's the recommended daily amount for a 300-pounder? It's got to be different than
what's that bowl
at
look
170.
Like? What's that bowl look like?
I think he just put the milk in the bag, right in the bag. The wax bag held it.
Left center field. Granderson feeling for the wall, will make the catch. In deep left center for the second out. Scutaro back to first. And Crawford now 0 for 3.
I really like the way Brett Gardner got on the warning track and was Granderson's eyes. As Granderson's going back, Gardner's there telling him, you've got to step, you've got to step. Wall, here he comes. He starts yelling to him and then comes over to get the ball in case it's off the wall. Good team play. We're together.
So 2 down now for Dustin Pedroia, who's already got a couple of base hits tonight. And is now 8 for 11 in the series. He's raised his batting average up to .394 on the young season.
Everything's been away. He threw that one fastball in the first at bat that he fouled off and had a good swing at. Everything else has been away, just missing. Getting behind in the count, right where Dustin likes it.
One and two.
This is where, as a pitcher, you really are cognizant of a fly ball to left field and a double with 2 outs. The only way you score is the home run, the triple, but here in Fenway, the double off the left field wall. So you're not only trying to get him out, but you're trying to keep him away from left field.
Just missed outside.
And thus a fastball hard away, one of the hardest pitchers for a right-handed hitter to hook or to hit the left field on purpose. And if you get it down, they roll over it and hit you a ground ball. If you get it up, usually a fly ball to center if they don't make the perfect swing on the perfect time.
The 2-2. Off speed and sent foul out of play down the line. They do love their baseball here, don't they?
It's a great city with great fans and a great park.
Ground ball to third. Inning over. On the force at the end of 4 at Fenway. Red Sox 1, Yankees nothing. Baseball on ESPN presented by Taco Bell. A 1-0 lead for the Red Sox. The 1-7 Red Sox here in the rubber match of this 3-game series with the 5-3 New York Yankees. The DH Jorge Posada leads it off against Josh Beckett. And we have seen a lot of swings and misses so far tonight with Beckett on the mound. That's the 10th swing and a miss tonight for Josh Beckett. He has struck out 6 batters tonight, including Posada in his first at bat. And continues to mix his pitches.
Outstanding breaking ball tonight, Earl. Throwing it for strikes right where he wants it.
Well, the rotation on it is outstanding. When it's breaking high and breaking low, and then you're locating it, you've got a weapon you can use a lot.
After Posada, it'll be Eric Chavez and then Russell Martin. This is the bottom third of the Yankee lineup. No runs on just 2 hits for the Yankees, 1 run on 6 hits for the Red Sox. You wonder if he's thrown the same pitch on 2 consecutive pitches at any point in this game. He's just mixing everything. He goes from the fastball to the curveball to the cutter to the changeup. And he has not been afraid to shake off Veritek. And it looks like Oral, almost every time he shakes him off, he's getting to the changeup. That's the pitch he really wants to start throwing now. Second, third time through the order.
And he's throwing it very, very hard. We've been trying to chart his pitches, and when Veritek gives a changeup sign, he's not really throwing a ball at changeup velocity. So his arm has a lot of life in it. Normally, a guy throwing 94, the changeup will be about 84. Maybe a hard one at 86, but he actually might throw a few at 89.
Strike 3 called with a fastball over the inside corner. Time now for FaceTime presented by Edward Jones. Between innings, I had a chance to speak with Red Sox pitching coach Curt Young. With Curt Young, the pitching coach for the Red Sox. Curt, this is the second start of the season for Josh Beckett. What's the difference tonight from last week?
Well, just a good little mix of pitches he's got going with his changeup and great job with his curveball. And you know, against this lineup, it's tough. You got to have a good mix going, and that's what he's been doing.
Do you sense more of a comfort zone for him with Jason Veritek behind the plate?
Well, they got a pretty good flow going, and you like to see the quick action in between pitches and keep a good pace. So they definitely got it going tonight.
Curt, thanks for joining us.
All right, Dan.
You talk about the mix and a pitching coach taking it and saying, you know what, this is what he needs to do to get it done, and then a pitcher going out and executing the plan. Curt Young knows when you face an offensive club that you can't fall into patterns, and then you tell that to your pitcher, he still has to execute it.
Well, some pitchers don't seem to particularly care which catcher they throw to. Some like a personal catcher. We've seen all kinds of different arrangements in baseball over the years, and you can see most of Beckett's starts with the Red Sox have been with Veritek, and you can see a big difference. Look at the ERA, batting average, everything, when Veritek is behind the plate as opposed to whoever the other catcher happened to be at the time for the Boston Red Sox. Chavez with the bouncer to second. Pedroia 2 down. Let's take a look now at our pro tips, brought to you by Cabot Wood Stains.
They doesn't have to come from me. It can come from Curt Young and Josh Beckett, mixing your pitches. 4-seamers, 2-seamers, cutters, change-ups, curveballs. You got them all. It only takes 1 to compete. It takes 2 to win, and it takes 3 to dominate, and that's what he's done against this Yankee lineup. You see the 4-seamers and the 2-seamers at 94, a 2-seamer, a change-up at 89, a cutter at 89, and then a hook at 77 with depth and bite. There's some tips from the pros.
Russell Martin, the batter.
When I say 1 to compete, 2 to win, and 3 to dominate, I mean types of pitches that you command. Not that you control, that you command. You can do it 1 pitch in a big league game if you have a big league pitch. You can win a game in the big leagues with just 2 pitches, but if you have 3, you can dominate.
Now, do you call a 2-seam fastball or a sinker, a cutter, and a 4-seam fastball? Is that command of 3 different pitches? They're all fastballs, but the cutter moves one way, the sinker moves the other, and the 4-seamer goes straight.
When I say 3 pitches, I'm talking about 3 different pitches. A fastball, it can be a 2 or a 4, a breaking ball, something off speed, and maybe then even a changeup. But I would even consider a straight fastball and a cutter 2 different pitches.
Grounded to short. Scudero recovers, and he gets him by a step to end the inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Yankees. 1-0 Red Sox going to the bottom of the 5th. One to nothing. Sunday Night Baseball here on ESPN. Dan Schulman, Orel Hershiser, Bobby Valentine, Wendy Nixon, and Buster Olney all here at the ballpark. Updates throughout the night as well from Carl Ravitch, John Kruk, Barry Larkin with baseball tonight, who are on the road each and every week. Got a nice spot. You guys visited with them on the set just outside the ballpark before the game on the 7 o'clock Eastern Time show. What was the scene like out there?
It was a fabulous scene, and you know, our set really looks good with Barry Larkin on it too. He really brings a lot of energy and a lot of class to the set. He and Crucky out there with all the multitude of fans. It was a festive affair. You have to experience it. It's beautiful out there.
Should be a pretty good scene next week too. We'll be at Yankee Stadium. 1 week from tonight, the Texas Rangers are there in a rematch of the American League Championship Series.
It's really interesting when the set is out there. The vibe of the game starts earlier in the day because usually we have to wait for the gates to open during batting practice. The fans are you know, the seats are empty.
Ooh. That did not make a good noise, did it?
Well, it sounded like it hit the bottom of the bat, and often a hitter will have his pinky over the bottom of the bat, so it might have gotten a little bit of his hand as well as the bottom of the bat. But I don't think that this is a clean hit on his arm or his hand. Let's see and listen.
Gonzalez was pointing at the pinky finger of his left hand. Yep.
Ooh.
There it is. Yep.
Like on the first and second knuckle from your index finger down.
Totally wrong. I thought it hit the bottom of the knob by that sound, but it really was all fingers.
He's lucky if that. He's not hurt.
Owie. This is a two-seamer running in. He's looking to hit, then get out of the way. That'll leave a mark. Luckily, nothing's broken there.
Well, I would tell you what, they were waiting before they signed a long-term deal with him to make sure the shoulder surgery was healthy. The deal's not done yet, but expect to be done in a week or so.
Not a good time to break something.
Not a hand.
Kevin Youkilis now the batter. Youkilis has singled and walked tonight. The Red Sox have had at least one man on in every inning. They've left 6 men on through the first 4 innings, and they hold a slender 1-0 lead.
You could hit that ball right down the right field line, Earl, if he gives up the inside part of the plate. CC has not been pitching in very much at all tonight. I think he's got to take this pitch to right field.
Just missed low, 2-1. His base hit was to right center back in the first inning. When healthy, this guy one of the most consistent run producers in a baseball, hitting around 300, 90 or 100 RBIs. 2-2. And moved back across the diamond defensively this year with the acquisition of Adrian Gonzalez. Youkilis moves back to the position he says he's most comfortable at, which is third base. He's played more third base than first base in his life, as Gonzalez continues to flex that left hand. Did he go? Strike 3 called is the sign from Mike Winters to get Youkilis for the first out.
Slow breaking ball had him out in front with his bat. He was looking away. The ball came down, tried to check, called it a strike. I think he had it right.
Mike Winters has it as a strike. K-Zone has it as a strike. The check swing doesn't matter.
So the batter is David Ortiz, and he'll take a strike. Ortiz has grounded out twice, once into a double play. Red Sox 1, Yankees nothing, bottom of the 5th inning. The Orioles lost today to Texas 3-0. They still lead the AL East at 6-3. Buck Showalter's team is off to a good start. The Blue Jays lost. They are 5-4. The Yankees are in second right now at 5-3. Boston 1-7. With Tampa Bay rolling into town for the ESPN game tomorrow night. Tampa Bay is 1-8. Lost so many players from last year. Evan Longoria is on the DL. A ball and 2 strikes on Ortiz.
This is a big at bat for CC Sabathia. David Ortiz is the hitter in this lineup that he has dominated tonight. Sandy Koufax used to say, you want to have good games? Get the people out you're supposed to get out. The next 4 hitters have had nice passes at CC. He needs to get David Ortiz out to keep away from a tough inning.
Weekly hit and just foul up the first baseline. Coverage of Major League Baseball continues this week on both ESPN and ESPN2. Tomorrow night here on ESPN at 7 Eastern, the Red Sox again as they take on the Tampa Bay Rays. And then Wednesday night at 7 Eastern on ESPN2, it'll be Wednesday Night Baseball presented by Sears Lawn and Garden. The Washington Nationals host the Philadelphia Phillies with Roy Halladay on the mound for the Phillies. On the appeal, did not go 2-2. We saw Rick Sutcliffe here at the ballpark, part of the Monday night team, getting ready to do the game. Sean McDonough. I heard a rumor Aaron Boone was on his way into town, but we cannot confirm the arrival of. Oh, we can confirm. Mr. Boone has touched down.
A fan favorite here in Boston.
Breaking ball sliced foul down the left field line. Here's why Bobby Valentine was joking about Aaron Boone not being so popular here at Fenway. 2003 American League Championship Series extra innings game-winning, series-winning home run for Aaron Boone, known by some different names here in Boston.
So on that check swing, Earl, you know, there's nothing really in the book that defines a check swing. I think it's when the head of the bat gets out in front of the hands, I guess. It's not about the plate, and it's not about breaking any wrist, because that would constitute a cast.
Full count on Ortiz. And a swing and a liner into right field, a base hit. Gonzalez up to second, and again, the Red Sox have something going on. They've been in business almost every inning.
And this is one of those nights where there's a lot of contact being made, and the first baseman's playing behind the runner on 3-2. They're not sending him. See the K zone there, oh.
That was a really good at bat by David Ortiz. 2 outs on ground balls and broken bats. The 2 at bats prior, the breaking ball got him out. In both of those at bats, he fought off breaking balls by checking his swing and then got a chance to hit a fastball and got a base hit.
Live K-Zone with Mike Cameron at the plate. Chases a ball down low. Cameron with an infield hit, producing the only run of the game his last time up. The Red Sox are 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight. 2 for 22 in their last 2 games. Gonzalez at second. Ortiz at first. And Sabathia misses up and away. It's a ball and a strike.
If you think the green line was busy today, the base paths here have been busy for CC. 11 base runners in 4 1/3 innings. He's been pitching in traffic.
This will be his 90th pitch of the night. A little bit high with a fastball. This is the kind of thing that Terry Francona talked about before the game. His pitchers have consistently been up in the 90s, close to 100 pitches through 5 innings. Sabathia having that kind of problem tonight. There's a strike. Cameron didn't like that call at all. And it's 2-2. Joe Girardi, on the other hand, has gotten 2 great starts out of Sabathia so far, but the pitch count climbing. And really, Sabathia's made some big pitches and gotten some key outs with men on base. Otherwise, this would be more than a 1-run lead. Popped up at a shallow right. Swisher now over to his right to make the catch for the second out.
CC might not be as sharp as Josh Beckett tonight or as dominant, but he is a warrior. Larry Rothschild comes out to speak to him.
Described by almost universally by teammates as just a big teddy bear and a great guy to have in the clubhouse. Terrific teammate.
I tell you what, the big fellow, though, is a warrior, and he's a road warrior. He's the only major league pitcher over the last 2 years to win 10 or more games on the road. He was 21-7 last year, came in 3rd in the Cy Young Award voting. And he can win on the road, and if you can win on the road in the big leagues, you can have some big years.
Some of what Oral was talking about. Great success away from Yankee Stadium the last couple of years. 2 on, 2 out. J.D. Drew, the batter. Drew's got a base hit. He's also struck out. This is one of these games where if the Red Sox don't extend the lead, I mean, they might be wondering how it slipped away on them. They've had chances each and every inning to score. Although the way Josh Beckett is going, 1 run might be enough.
Terry Francona is begging for a few more runs here. He has an untested bullpen down there for the 2011 season. He has an untested starter really thus far this season. Please give me a little cushion and don't make the decision so hard in the second half of this game.
As all baseball fans have seen or read about or heard about, and we got a chance to talk to Terry Francona firsthand today, there has been a lot of tension surrounding this team after the 0-6 start, now 1-7 after splitting the last 2 with the Yankees. They have not cashed in their opportunities this season or tonight. Their pitching has been, especially the starters, have not even been close to what they expected they would be, although Beckett's been great tonight. And this is a team that coming into the season with the acquisitions of Carl Crawford and Adriana Gonzalez, Theo Epstein, the general manager of the Red Sox, there was so much optimism and excitement and so many expectations around this team. This was the team more people thought would win it all than any other team, maybe than every other team put together. And they have stumbled out of the gate with their worst start since 1945 in baseball's toughest division. So that's why Terry Francona, again to repeat the line, although Kevin Millar's in the house, he can relax some people. He can relieve the tension.
They're talking about that 2-out hit.
Look, Kevin Millar, he's not scared of a camera. He knows where it is. Fondly known as one of the idiots.
I think he's trying to get a job right now. I think he's applying for the assistant GM's job.
The floodgates can open with one little bloop with 2 outs. You feel so good when that happens, and it's a 29th pitch of the inning for CC. Possibly his last inning.
He gets Drew. And the Red Sox have now left 8 men on through 5 innings, still clinging to a 1-0 lead.
And Barry Larkin. Red Sox have led way too many on base. They got a 1-0 lead. It means it's a well-pitched game, and we'll go over the highlights of Sunday's pitchers. How about Jared Weaver? 15 strikeouts. John Kruk, you've been communicating with him after the game.
And he was very disappointed. The fact that he walked 4 guys. He said that's unacceptable. He's going to have to clean that up, he said. I said, oh, please. You were great.
Career high 15 Ks. Cole Hamels outstanding, although Roy Halladay's the only guy in the top 10 on the Philly staff in ERA with an 0.69, and Gavin Floyd, very good for the Chicago White Sox. Barry Larkin, Josh Beckett has been really different tonight than we've seen him so far this season.
He really has. He's throwing all of his pitches for a strike. He's throwing mid-90s now, but he's got, more importantly, tilt on his pitches. He's got tilt on his fastball, tilt on his changeup, and he's snapping off that curveball. Nice.
And he better be very good because the Red Sox have left the nation on bases so far.
They have. How much does Josh Beckett have left in the tank? Bobby V, Oral Hershiser, and Dan Chilman.
Guys, thank you very much. Welcome back to the top of the 6th inning here inside Fenway with the Red Sox leading the Yankees 1-0. And Brett Gardner, the leadoff hitter for the Yankees, shows bunt. Going to try to bring it with him. Charged by Pedroia, and he'll underhand it on to first in time. Just a little too much on that bunt from Gardner. Let's check out our diamond tracks now.
Yeah, as we have the diamond track coming here on this bunt, on this ground ball double play, we have 1.3 seconds as the ball hit the glove, and then the pivot's 0.6 seconds. They get it there in 3.9 seconds. Plenty of time. Gardner was getting there in 3.9. They got there in 3.63 seconds. Plenty of time to get the out at first.
Here's Jeter. 3.9 about as good as it gets out of the box down to first?
3.9 is pretty good. He might have gotten a little quicker on that bunt there if it was a better bunt, but on a swing, 3.9 is flying.
Jeter a ground out and a strikeout. Just 2 hits tonight for the Yankees. Well, Brett Gardner, as we mentioned, 3.9 down the line. A left-handed batter, obviously, so he is slightly faster than average. A right-handed batter, the average time down to first is 4.3. So we're talking about fractions of a second, tenths of a second, sometimes hundredths, determining safe or out. Pedroia throws out Jeter. Dustin Pedroia's had a busy night.
He's a good player, and you're so right, Dan, that it's all about time and space. And all these runners, all these fielders understand how long it takes for the ball to travel a certain amount of time and for the runner to travel a certain amount of time. You have that built-in clock, and that was what Dustin Pedroia was doing there, knowing there's a fast runner. He made a great pivot, and he got the double play.
Quickly 2 down for Beckett here in the 6th inning, and here's Mark Teixeira. Curveball. Ooh. You'd be a grumpy bulldog on the mound if you didn't get the call on that one. That was a good-looking pitch.
It is, but when it's going well, you have an idea that you can repeat it, so you don't get as mad as when you're struggling with your command.
Down and in with the cutter. Beckett coming off an injury-plagued season a year ago. Just 6-6, an ERA in the high 5s, but of course the year before had a very good season for the Red Sox, winning 17 games.
You go back a couple years prior to that, in 07 when he won 20. He is looking vintage Josh Beckett, and he looks like the guy that you would want to sign to the extension like they did last year. The first year of a 4-year extension that Josh Beckett is in right now.
$68 million for 4 years. People were starting to grumble a little, thinking maybe he was going to be overpaid. They'd have to have him for 4 years. This arm, you'd keep for 4 years.
The Red Sox, as you can see, Beckett's body of work over the last number of years. The Red Sox announcing today also that Clay Buchholz has just signed a 4-year deal. Curveball, swing and a miss, inning over. Strikeout number 8 for Beckett. Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell. Fenway Park in Boston, still 1-0 for the Red Sox over the Yankees, despite the Red Sox missing so many opportunities to add to their lead. They've left 8 men on. Josh Beckett has been outstanding. CC Sabathia with an elevated pitch count. He's had to work hard through the first 5, but has gotten out of a lot of trouble. Back out there for the bottom of the 6th with his 100th pitch of the night, coming in there for a strike to Jason Varitek.
It's 100 pitches. The bullpen will get ready at the first sign of trouble. They'll be making a move.
And they are stirring right now. It's kind of an automatic these days. Guy gets to 100 and got to get somebody busy.
But it's not only 100, but when you get to 100, and he has labored all 5 innings to get to that 100 pitch count. So this is enough for him. Remember, this is his 3rd start of the season also.
Swing and a miss in the count of 1-2. You saw Jabba Chamberlain getting up, starting to throw in the Yankee pen. And Boone Logan, a left-hander, looks like he's getting up as well.
With the off days, Dan, the Yankees have only used 4 starting pitchers. And CC has gotten the ball now 3 times. He's going to be the workhorse. He might get as many as 36 starts this year.
You know, Bobby, you talked about 100 pitches too. They're a different intensity when you're in Fenway in a 1-0 game, watching Beckett on his game.
Throws him for strikeout number 4 in the first out of the inning. A little bit earlier, Adrian Gonzalez was hit on the left hand by a CC Sabathia fastball, and we could hear in our headsets, and I'm sure a lot of people at home too could hear a sound that, as Bobby said, it sounded like the bat, but it was clearly his hand, and not good news. And you just wonder how much pain he's in right now. Wendy Nix is down on the field with more.
Well, Dan, Gonzalez was hit on his left pinky finger and ring finger, and he continues to flex and favor that left hand. Got a good look at the left pinky, and it is swollen, though he's not being attended to by a trainer right now, and he has stayed in the game.
All right, Wendy, thank you. And as you said, Oral, he's fortunate nothing's broken in there.
Well, you have a contract extension out, and they've been waiting to see how your shoulder recovers from surgery.
Scudero hits a screamer into center field.
Do not want to break a bone right now if you're Adrian Gonzalez, and the Red Sox definitely don't want that either, because they don't want him out for a while.
I wonder if he signs with his left hand or his right hand.
For the amount of money he's going to get, I'd put an X with either hand.
Joe Girardi's checking that bullpen, waiting for the sign. There's 2 men on in this inning. I wouldn't be surprised, Oral. As a matter of fact, with Pedroia coming up next, if Carl gets on, we'll see a little pitching change and get the merry-go-round going.
Crawford is 0 for 3 tonight. His average is down to 139. As he is still waiting to cut loose as a member of the Red Sox and show them what he can do. He tormented the Red Sox probably more than any other team when he was with Tampa Bay. Got on base constantly, stole a ton of bases against them. There's a strike.
Once again, when you're competing against expectation and in a new environment, you sometimes forget about the competition between you and the pitcher. And I think Carl and most of this Boston Red Sox team has been in that place thus far this year.
Great play by Teixeira, and they'll force the lead runner.
Teixeira has had a couple balls go by him down at first base when he's had to drop to a knee, but those balls were close to him. This one he has to dive and reach out. He stabs it perfectly. No chance for a double play with Crawford at the plate. They make a sure one, and a sure one is done right here with a nice solid throw to Jeter. Derek keeps his foot on the bag, reaches up for the ball, and gives up any chance of double play. But Teixeira, 4-time Gold Glove winner. I'll tell you what, Adrian Gonzalez coming over with a Gold Glove, there's going to be some competition at first base in these 2 cities for who wins the division and who wins the Gold Glove.
There's Dustin Pedroia. Crawford is now the runner at first on the fielder's choice with 2 down. Crawford, of course, a huge base stealer with the Rays. Pedroia 2 for 3 tonight. Crawford with 2 steals thus far this season. 46 or more 7 times with Tampa Bay. He's 29 years of age, right in the prime of his career. Is he going to be the aggressive base runner with the Red Sox that he was for most of his time with the Rays?
Dustin took that ball thinking he might have been going on that pitch. Fastball right down the middle. That play by Teixeira might have given CC a chance of getting the middle of the lineup up next inning.
Up the middle, and Pedroia's got his 3rd hit of the game and his 9th hit of the series.
And I know Joe's thinking, I got to give my big guy a chance of having the middle of the lineup come up next inning and give him a chance to win this game. Obviously his last inning and his last hitter for sure if he doesn't get him out.
Right through the wickets.
Bang. Can't catch that one. What a good hitter.
And here comes another one, and Adrian Gonzalez to face Sabathia. Once again, the Red Sox have 2 men on. They have had at least 2 men on in 5 of 6 innings tonight. Yet they're only up 1-0. They have stranded 8 men. Gonzalez 1 for 2, also hit by a pitch. The feeling is that Adrian Gonzalez, with that great opposite field power we talked about a little bit earlier, that he will play pepper with the monster time and time again here at Fenway.
He'll also get a lot of pitches inside and will be hit more this year than he has been hit in the past because they have to pound him in.
To keep him off the monster?
To keep him off the monster. Now, what he does as well as anybody in baseball, Dan, is when that ball's away, he's able to hit the inside of the ball. That means the ball close, the side closer to the hitter, and drive the ball the opposite way. He doesn't really like to hit behind the ball or around the ball. He really likes to hit that inside of the ball, and he does it as well as anyone.
2 men on, 2 down. And in the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Gonzalez.
This rivalry creates hit batsmen too. 196 hit batsmen in 185 games. That's the most between any 2 teams in the previous 10 seasons.
The 2-2. High fastball, a full count. That'll give the runners a head start now. If Gonzalez reaches and the inning continues, Kevin Youkilis would be the batter, but likely against Jabba Chamberlain, you would have to think. Sabathia at 117 pitches has gotten out of trouble time and time again. Can he do it one more time?
Little education lesson there, Oral, with the catcher and the pitcher in this situation. Probably the first time that Russell Martin's been here with CC. So let's educate each other. What are we going to do? What do you like to do?
Inside, ball 4. And the bases are loaded, and here comes Joe Girardi. Well, it was anything but an easy night for CC Sabathia. 118 pitches through 5 2/3.
Joe Girardi wanted to give him every opportunity to win this game. He battled like a warrior.
Youkilis will be the batter. Jabba Chamberlain is on his way in from the pen. Bobby Valentine, Oral Hershiser, Buster Olney, Wendy Nix. I'm Dan Schulman. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. A 1-0 lead for the Red Sox, bottom of the 6th. The bases are loaded for Boston with 2 outs. And Kevin Youkilis striding to the plate to face the new Yankee reliever, Jabba Chamberlain. Another one of the less popular Yankees here at Fenway Park. His numbers from a year ago when he really did not pitch as well as the Yankees wanted or hoped he would. Did a decent job stranding runners. The major league average was 67%. He stranded 75% of inherent base runners last year. And he has 3 of CC Sabathia's base runners out there right now. Crawford at third, Pedroia at second, Gonzalez at first. Youkilis the batter. And a slider outside for ball 1. Sabathia looking on from the Yankees' third base dugout. Ripped down to third off the body of Chavez. He recovers and throws him out. And the Red Sox threaten again, and the Red Sox leave them on again. They have now stranded 11 men through 6 innings. The Yankees are down just a run with Robinson Cano scheduled to lead off the 7th for Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Josh Beckett cruising into the 7th on a 2-hit shutout, facing the middle of the Yankee lineup, beginning with a Robinson Cano. Hitting in the cleanup spot tonight. Alex Rodriguez scratched just before game time with flu-like symptoms. Cano tonight has flied out and had one of the 2 Yankee hits. The other one was a base hit by Eric Chavez. It's a 1-0 game that feels like it should be about a 7-0 game.
The Yankees almost feel like they're winning this game, and I wonder if they have A-Rod available to pinch hit before this game's over. Yankees have been hitting home runs at a whirlwind pace. A home run in this inning would break the Boston Red Sox back.
There's the 1-1. And a pop-up. Scudero on the outfield grass for out number 1.
Well, that was a cutter, but the curveball has been outstanding tonight from Josh Beckett. The swings and misses he's got on it. He's gotten hitters to freeze also. Here's the depth of the swing and the miss. Posada swings and miss. Swisher swung and missed. Teixeira swings and missed. Then you get guys to freeze because the fastball before, high fastball, it drops out of that window. You think it's going to be a ball? No, it drops in for a strike. It freezes you, and it's been an outstanding weapon. Up, down, it's been sharp, and it's been effective.
What a difference for Beckett between this start and his first start of the season as Curtis Granderson fouls one off.
You think about the break of his curveball, it's 12-6. Now, if you've been watching baseball for a long time, you don't know what 12-6 means. It means on a clock, from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. He throws an overhand curveball that breaks from the 12 o'clock hand down to the 6 o'clock.
And it goes from your chin to your shin.
And it ain't any fun to hit when it's on.
Looks like we're getting a little bit of rain here at Fenway now. This was the talk earlier today that it might actually threaten this game. Swing and a miss. Granderson, 2 down, 9 strikeouts for Beckett. Oral's going to give us another, this time a frame-by-frame look at Josh Beckett's delivery.
Remember, baseball cards has to have this little flicker effect. You put them together and you kind of fan them with your fingers. Top of the leg kick, he looks beautiful. Starts to transfer the weight from the back leg to the front leg with some linear motion toward the hitter. He lands, and now the transfer and the rotation of the hips and the shoulders. Right at before release, the back leg starts to drag, and he gets over his front leg, and all the explosion into that ball from transferring the energy from his legs all the way up through his hips, his shoulders, and then into his arms. And that makes it 94 or 94 arm speed with some rotation and a very sharp curveball.
He has retired 10 in a row. And he starts Nick Swisher with a strike.
10 in a row and no balls out of the infield.
So it doesn't look good for a home run.
Well, that would be out of the infield.
Yeah.
One hopper to second. Pedroia. Inning over. 7th inning stretch at Fenway. 1-0 Beckett and the Red Sox.
Boston is a town of many faces. We got ballet dancers, cops and construction workers, bartenders in the Winklevi. A town of many faces. We've got at least one thing in common. We love the Red Sox. It says Boston on those uniforms. That means us, all of us.
Well, so much passion in this city, not just for the Red Sox, of course, for the Celtics, for the Bruins, for the New England Patriots. Bruins are headed to the postseason. Celtics are headed to the postseason. The Red Sox, they hope, are headed to the postseason here in 2011. The expectation's so high. Bottom 7, 1-0 Boston. The only run scoring on an infield hit by Mike Cameron to back in the third is Jabba Chamberlain, who got a Euclid to end the sixth, faces David Ortiz, and starts him with a strike. Pretty good time of year if you're a Boston sports fan right now, with two teams going to the playoffs. And then the Red Sox season just beginning, although, of course, not nearly in the way they would have liked, a 1-7 start.
It's not always expectations. Nobody expected the Jets to beat the Patriots.
I would venture to say most of the time in recent years, the team that's won it all, team that's won the World Series, probably hasn't had the highest expectations coming into the season. Certainly, Josh Beckett in the 2003 Florida Marlins, they were not a favorite before the season. The San Francisco Giants just last year. Red Sox with so much recent success, winning the 2004 and 2007 World Series.
And Dan, there's always a relative term on what the start of the season is. Is it opening day? Is it the first week? Is it the first 2 weeks? I've always thought it was the first 45 games.
Why 45?
I don't know. It just takes that long to look at the league, to look at your team, to get a real feel for how you are out of the box. And what you've seen many teams do is after 70 or 80 teams, they then adjust and retool their team to make it look like the San Francisco Giants did at the end of last year. So
Ortiz draws the leadoff walk.
Giants had a 7-game losing streak. They were 41-40 at the All-Star break. 7.5 games back in fourth place.
But they needed a 10-game losing streak by the Padres to get into the playoffs and to win the World Series.
Ortiz draws the walk. Mike Cameron will be the batter. Well, this is a team that has had expectations almost every year, really. Remember 2003, of course, we showed you the Aaron Boone home run, lost to the Yankees in a Game 7 of the American League Championship Series, and have been a contender almost every season since. Won 2 World Series. And one of the biggest reasons why they won 2 World Series, the accomplishments of Manny Ramirez, the recently retired Manny Ramirez. Rather than reportedly facing a 100-game ban for what would have been a second violation of baseball's drug program, Manny decided to retire. And on the Baseball Tonight show at 12:30 Eastern Time today, Carl Ravitch was with Tim Kirkchin, Buster Olney, Gordon Eads of ESPNBoston.com, and they used words like arrogance and ignorance to describe what Manny did. It's one thing to make the mistake once, but to make it again. And Manny Ramirez, who at one point was considered, Oral, as you all know, you were a teammate of his back in the old days, at one point was considered maybe one of the greatest right-handed batters of all time, between hitting for average, hitting for power, driving in runs at a crazy rate. But now the numbers obviously seem extremely hollow.
He's a very frustrating character. He was a very good teammate when he worked hard, and he worked very hard in the cage. But he also has a reputation for quitting on his teams. He quit in Boston, he quit in LA, and now he's pretty much quit on Tampa Bay. They were hoping to have protection for Longoria, that they really have a reputation and some ability behind him to let that young man continue to break out, and that's very, very hard for them to take right now.
And here in Boston, I would imagine still it's probably split on Manny, because he did help them win, but then he did, in the eyes of a lot of people, quit on the team as Cameron chases for out number 1. And Manny's not alone. I mean, obviously we've seen the McGuire situation, the Palmeiro, at varying degrees now. Sosa, Bonds, Clemens. I mean, some are allegations, some are proven, but it's just It's changed the record book. It's changed the Hall of Fame. It's changed everything.
It has changed everything. And Manny was a great teammate, many people say. Great player, without a doubt. But he did have a great deal of stupidity. This goes over the line of what you can or should or might even think about doing.
In the Hall of Fame consideration, you think about the all-time hit leader, the all-time home run leader, gentleman that won 6, 7 Cy Youngs, and Roger Clemens might not be in. And now Manny Ramirez, one of the all-time greatest right-handed hitters. I mean, it's getting more like a museum. Nothing to take away from the great Hall of Famers that we loved and adored.
Well, Buster Olney
still
has a vote for the Hall of Fame. Buster, where do you sit on all these kinds of cases?
Well, I voted for Mark McGwire, but I don't think Manny Ramirez has any chance to get into the Hall of Fame. We've seen the voters in recent years basically decide they're not going to vote for players who've been touched by suspicion with this issue. I think that core of voters is about 40 to 50%. I actually had conversations with writers in the last 48 hours who said they wonder if Manny's even going to get the 5% required to stay on the ballot because of the drug suspensions.
2-2. The count is Chamberlain faces Drew. Well, Buster, you said you voted for Mark McGwire. Do you view McGwire differently than Manny Ramirez?
I do, because I think in the 1990s it was a wild, wild west. There were really no rules enforced in place. But with Manny Ramirez, this is the third time that he has been cited for violations of baseball's drug testing policy since it was put in place in 2003.
And I would imagine, I mean, this is not an easy decision for anybody with a vote for the Hall of Fame. There are, writers who can argue passionately about either side of this issue and come up with different feelings.
No question about it. I know I'm in the minority in voting for McGwire. I will vote for Bonds. I will vote for Roger Clemens, but I will not vote for Manny Ramirez.
Ball 4. Your thoughts?
Well, I don't have a vote.
And in some ways, for me, the Hall of Fame has become a place in your heart instead of Cooperstown. And I have total respect for everybody that is in there and for the respect and admiration for what they've accomplished. And they are Hall of Famers in my eyes. But as we go forward, this is going to be a battle of the heart at times.
Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach for the Yankees, on his way out to the mound after Chamberlain has walked a couple here in the 7th inning. The Red Sox leading 1-0. Well, you can see the raw numbers are incredible. The batting average, the home runs, the RBIs are, I mean, he was headed potentially towards 2,000 RBIs. I mean, one of the great run producers in baseball history. But while he may have these numbers in common with Williams, Ruth, Fox, and Aaron, that's about it.
Well, we did talk a little about integrity and about what kind of person he was. Good teammate, fun to be around. Couldn't make good decisions. No doubt about that. And the Rays made a good decision in just saying, hey, thanks for being here, but we don't want to have anything to do with you. Don't come back. And I guess goodbye.
Left-hander Logan is up in the pen again as Veritek squares to bunt, pulls the bat back, and takes ball 1.
And Chavez was way back and off the line, and Veritek saw an easy bunt if he put it down the third baseline. They need a run in the worst way here. I know it's only 2 innings left, but they need an add-on run.
Ortiz is out at second. Drew's at first.
And as much as they need a run, Dan, you would think possibly Ortiz would be pinch run for it here to score on a base hit if, in fact, it's only a single.
Line to center. That's a base hit. Ortiz had to wait to make sure that it dropped. The Red Sox, we've said this before, they got the bases loaded again.
It hasn't been a good offensive formation for him this evening.
No.
I think they need a new offensive coordinator.
I mentioned last inning they've left 11 men on through 6. I actually understated the case. They have left 12 men on through 6 innings, and they got the bases loaded with 1 out here in the 7th.
Here's Poppy, not really looking to see where the outfielder was playing before time, and having to hesitate. I don't think he would have made it anyway with his lack of speed. But that's a big run. Perched out there at third base now. Prior to that at second.
And you can see how the Red Sox have struggled to cash in runs tonight. The 2 hits they've got with runners in scoring position. That hit right there by Varitek, and the infield hit by Cameron back in the 3rd. That has scored the only run of the night. So it's up to the number 9 hitter now, Marco Scutaro. Bases loaded, 1 out. And Scutaro last year, he loved hitting with the bases loaded. Into left field, a base hit, and it's getting all the way to the wall. Ortiz will score. Drew right behind him. Into 3rd in a slide is Varitek on a 2-run double by Scutaro. That's all for Chamberlain. Left-hander Logan on his way into the game. The Red Sox finally getting that big hit they've been looking for to take a 3-0 lead. Market games per week online and on your favorite device. Visit MLB.tv for details. Well, the Red Sox finally got that big hit. Marco Scutaro with a 2-run double off Jabba Chamberlain to make it 3-0 Red Sox. And here's left-hander Boone Logan coming into the game now. With runners at 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Logan's 4th appearance of the season, and he has not done very well in his first 3 after a pretty successful year last season with the Yankees. They're the numbers from last year, but he's been roughed up a little bit so far this year. He's tough on lefties. And he's facing one here in Carl Crawford as the Yankees bring the infield in. And this is a man in need of a hit. Carl Crawford is 0 for 4 and is hitting 135.
And with Varitek at 3rd base, you would think that Boston will not have contact play on. Pedroia on deck, left-hander on the mound.
Crawford 2 for 7 in his career against Logan. Wow, he hit it sharply, but right at Cano, who looks the runner back and makes the play. That was a bullet.
Varitek staying at 3rd base, not going on contact.
Now a big ovation for Dustin Pedroia, and with good reason. 3 hits Friday, 3 hits yesterday, 3 hits tonight.
Larry Rothschild's going to the mound to inform Logan, if he doesn't already know it, that there's a left-hander on deck and first base is open. Even though that left-hander on deck hits left-handers as well as just about any left-hander around. So this is one of those What do we do here? Punt?
Look who's up. Freddie Garcia, who is a starter for the Yankees, but because of an off day and some rain has yet to make a start. He's up in the pen right now. He is scheduled to start Friday. So this might be just getting him some work just to keep him loose, or maybe Joe Girardi's thinking about bringing him in.
I think the instructions here is first base is open. We're not going to pitch around him, but you have 2 hitters to get 1 out. So pitch to him tough, which means maybe towards the corners. Even if you fall behind in the count, don't give in. Try and find an out between the next 2 hitters.
It's kind of like a punt.
Yeah. It's not a punt if you can command the ball.
Exactly.
Pedroia has been squaring everything up so far this weekend. Not many cheapies among the 9 hits.
You know, the thing that makes Adrian Gonzalez a little weaker in the on-deck circle is the fact that he's been hit on both of his hands with 1 pitch tonight. So I'm not sure he's even swung the bat aggressively since then. He has not been taken out of the game, but he also has not put a good swing on anything since then.
He's going to get a chance. The bases loaded, 2 down for Adrian Gonzalez, and here it was earlier tonight, the ball hitting him on the left pinky and ring finger, and probably also getting a little bit of that right hand, as you mentioned as well, Oral.
Yeah, it looked like got the right index finger knuckle and then the left pinky.
3 grand slams a year ago. First pitch swinging, fly ball, shallow left field, Gardner in, and the inning is over. They get 2, they leave 3. Red Sox up 3-0 at the end of 7. Nothing after the big hit by Marco Scutaro. Well, 2 lucky guys are watching every baseball game during the 2011 season and sharing their experiences with fans throughout the entire season long adventure. Check in with them at MLBFanCave.com to see the latest and check out the Fan Cave Trends video for the latest trends on and off the field. We've got a good job, but how do we get that job?
I like that. Get in the cave, baby.
Let's do a game from the cave. As Posada takes high ball one. Posada, Chavez, and Martin, 7, 8, and 9, scheduled for the Yankees here in the 8th inning. Josh Beckett has been mowing them down. He's retired 11 in a row. He's given up 2 hits. He's struck out 9.
And he's been consistent with his breaking ball all night long.
One. There for a strike, 1 and 2.
106 pitches to go 5 innings against the Cleveland Indians. That was his 98th pitch. And we're in the 8th. That's an improvement.
A little more efficient, huh?
Yes.
Posada lays off the breaking ball. I talked about the fan cave. It's in Manhattan. Major League Baseball unveiled it on opening day. 15 big screen TVs at 4th and Broadway. Swing and a miss. Varitek down to first for the out. Strikeout number 10 for Josh Beckett. There's the fan cave in Manhattan. Nick Swisher stopped by to hang out and watch some baseball. I like the concept.
Every man needs a man cave. Every fan needs a fan cave. MLB to the rescue.
100 pitches for Josh Beckett through 7 1/3. 10 strikeouts. Eric Chavez 1 for 2.
This is as sharp as I've seen Beckett maybe ever. I didn't see him in that World Series live, but I mean he's throwing the ball extremely well. Exactly what the doctor ordered for the Red Sox.
Pedroia again. 2 down.
Last guy to hit a ball out of the infield was in the 4th inning. Cano got the base hit.
Just in case, Daniel Bard is up at the Boston pen. Well, if you go back over the whole game, only one of the outs that Beckett has in this game, one of the 23 outs, a bit of the outfield, 1 fly ball to the outfield. Everything else is a strikeout or a ground out. 1 infield pop up. To right field, inning over. Martin retired. 8 shutout innings for Josh Beckett. Command tonight with 10 strikeouts. He has had some nifty defense behind him. The Red Sox, they struggled early against CC Sabathia, but they hung with it. Finally got the big hit by Marco Scutaro off Sabathia. And it's off Chamberlain rather. It's a 3-0 lead for the Red Sox. What a performance by Josh Beckett. And Oral, it was truly from the moment the game began that Josh Beckett was obviously in control.
He came out of the bullpen with good rhythm, locked and loaded, and he continued to execute throughout the game. There was not really a moment in the game where he was not in command of the baseball.
New pitcher for the Yankees, Freddie Garcia, who is the 5th starter for the Yankees but has not yet made a start because of off days. Is scheduled to start Friday, so he'll get some work in relief. He has been very successful at various stages of his career, predominantly with the Mariners or the White Sox. And he was one of a number of guys the Yankees brought in as insurance, basically, guys to compete for the last 2 spots of the rotation or be available as a long man in the pen. Garcia and Ivan Nova got the 2 spots in the rotation. Bartolo Colon is in the pen. Kevin Millwood and now Carlos Silva are in the minors, just outside.
The injured players, they expected to come back. Russell Martin behind the plate with the knees. Eric Chavez on the bench with the back. And Bartolo Colon in the bullpen, coming back from a long time away.
And a leadoff walk for Youkilis. Time now to take a look at our game track, brought to you by USAA. CC Sabathia in and out of trouble all night long. Men on base all night long. The opposite situation for Josh Beckett. And finally, Marco Scutaro, after the Red Sox had struggled so much to get the big hit, he gets the 2-run double. Still incredible. Boston has left 15 men on through 7 innings. They're up 3-0. David Ortiz.
That hit by Scutaro is the biggest hit for Boston thus far this early season.
One and one on Ortiz. A couple of ground outs, a base hit, and a walk. Bobby, you said before the game and early in the show, I mean, the Red Sox have struggled so badly, 1-7, but to win this game, their first series win against their arch rivals, just to be able to wake up tomorrow reading some good stuff instead of reading bad stuff. How big is this game?
Well, it's a very big game. If they could win their first series, they go to 2-7. New York's at 5-3. Life isn't so bad. You're on a little streak going with a very weak team coming in the Tampa Bay Rays, who are below the Boston Red Sox in the standings at 1-8.
The Orioles are the leaders right now in the American League East. They've gotten off to a 6-3 start. Lost today to Texas. Rangers are 8-1. Ortiz drills the ball toward the deepest part of the park and high off the wall at the 420 sign. Youkilis around to score. It's a long RBI double for Big Papi. Now we know why Terry Francona didn't pinch run for him last inning. He had a good feeling about that next at bat.
Well, he'll pinch run for him now because he's not going to get up in this game again. This is a pitch that's up in the zone. You see Papi coming through, coming up and through, and driving that ball 420 plus feet away from home plate. The only park probably in the big leagues it's not a home run.
So a big hit by Ortiz. There's Ellsbury on. Now the pinch runner. 4-0 Red Sox. The batter is Cameron. A light rain falling again here at Fenway in the bottom of the 8th. You have not seen many smiles in the Red Sox dugout so far this year.
And Dan, you haven't seen the sacrifice bunt many times this year either. Mm-hmm. Mike Cameron had the sign then, trying to get the runner over to third.
Foul 1-1.
The Red Sox have hit the ball really well tonight, but the Red Sox have also walked 8 times. 3 of them have scored. When Josh Beckett was on the mound, 10 strikeouts, only 1 walk.
And none of them have scored.
Let me look at the scoreboard. Yep, you're right.
Now he gets the bunt down. It'll be plenty to get the job done. The sacrifice moves Ellsbury to third. Well, after an outstanding 8 innings by Josh Beckett, it looks like Terry Francona is going to turn it over to Jonathan Papelbon in the 9th.
He hasn't had much work this year, and this will be work that will be without a save opportunity.
But when you're 1-7, it's a huge save, even if he doesn't get credit for one.
Absolutely.
And the Yankees bring the infield in again. The batter is Drew. A run in the 3rd for the Red Sox, 2 more in the 7th, another run here in the 8th, out hitting the Yankees 12-2, leading 4-0, trying to take 2 out of 3. Teixeira makes the catch for the 2nd out. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And in part by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Bobby Valentine, Oral Hershiser, Buster Olney, Wendy Nix. I'm Dan Schulman. Also Carl Ravitch, John Kruk, Barry Larkin here at Fenway. A week from tonight, we'll be at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees hosting the Texas Rangers. You've got Tampa Bay here at Fenway tomorrow night for the Monday night game on ESPN. And then Wednesday night over on ESPN2. It'll be the Phillies in Washington. The batter, Jason Varitek. Give him an assist, perhaps, on the night that Josh Beckett had. Although Beckett shook Varitek off a lot tonight, but it never seemed like there was any problem or real disagreement between the two.
No, I don't think it was a problem in communication at all. I think that once you see your pitcher can command all his pitches, he can kind of dictate the game because you have a lot of confidence. What he wants to shake to, he can execute. And you remember when Jason Varitek visited the mound, Bobby pointed it out very well. The one little bump in the road that he had, where all of a sudden the Yankees looked like they could score some runs. They had 1st and 2nd. And Varitek visited the mound and said, this game is still under control. And he brought him back in line.
Out of play, 1-2 on Varitek. Spotty playing time for the captain of the Red Sox with Jared Saltalamacchia getting the bulk of the duty so far behind the plate. Ellsbury down the line at 3rd, 2 down. Close but no. Sabathia went 5 2/3, gave up a run on 9 hits. Jabba Chamberlain gave up 2 hits, 2 walks, and 2 runs in just 2/3 of an inning. Boone Logan and now Freddie Garcia. And the inning is over. So the Red Sox add a run on the big hit by David Ortiz, and their closer Jonathan Papelbon will be coming on in a non-save situation with now a 4-run lead. Josh Beckett's night is done, and what a masterful job Beckett did. Here comes Papelbon in from the pen. Festive Fenway Park after the way things have gone for the Red Sox here tonight. Up 4-0 as they go to the 9th inning. 8 innings of 2-hit shutout ball for Josh Beckett. He makes way for Jonathan Papelbon here in the 9th inning in a non-save situation. Top of the order for the Yankees, Gardner, Jeter, and Teixeira. It's amazing how in a baseball, more than any other sport, just one day, one win can make everything feel so right, and then one loss can make everything feel so wrong.
I would always say to my wife, how could it feel so different? All we did is won or lost the game. How could it be so different? And it was.
Ball 1 low to Gardner, who's 0 for 3.
Well, they need strikes here. They need the leadoff hitter to be retired, to let everyone take a sigh. Still a little anxiety in the crowd here.
Well, Papelbon gave him a little anxiety last year. It's the high strike. Papelbon with a higher ERA, more walks allowed, more home runs allowed, all that stuff than any of his other years in the majors. Signed a 1-year deal, avoided arbitration. A little unsettled perhaps by the Red Sox apparently talking to Mariano Rivera's agent in the offseason when Rivera was a free agent.
And Oral, how about this? Now, it was 103 pitches after 8 innings. They know that magical number Dan mentioned earlier of 100. But do you think this was a decision to get Papelbon some work, a decision that Josh felt he couldn't go out there, a decision? Well, what exactly precipitated this move of him pitching tonight?
Josh Beckett having a great game. Jonathan Papelbon being perfect on Friday in their home opener. Needs a little work, plus he is your closer. And it was a 3-run lead when the decision was made. Now it's 4.
2-2 on Gardner.
I think Terry Francona wanted to get Beckett up the tunnel. The leader of your staff, emotionally, work ethic wise, status as far as in the other pitcher's eyes. You get your ace, your leader up the tunnel. And I know people think Buchholz, maybe Lester could be the ace. But in the eyes of the staff, Beckett is still the leader.
One down.
I guess that would beg the question that if you wanted that leader of your staff to be stand up and be counted, why you wouldn't send him out there in the 9th inning, let him complete what he started. Just begs the question.
If you're a good driver, do you still buy an insurance policy?
I hear you, bro.
I think he was buying the insurance policy.
Here's Jeter. Pedroia, the busiest man in the ballpark tonight. 2 down.
But I understand your argument. Beckett retired the last 14 he faced. He had 6 out of 8, 1, 2, 3 innings. And I think midseason, on a roll, he is finishing this game.
This is the team effort they needed. What we're explaining to the fandom out there is they need Papelbon to be what he needs to be. They need Beckett to be what he was tonight. And this is where you can come out and have that good feeling. Everyone contributed at the end of the game.
Mark Teixeira. When these two play, April can feel like September sometimes with the intensity in the ballpark. And because of a 1-7 start, a lot of tension around the Red Sox. They've relaxed a little bit, though, here tonight. 37,861, the 634th consecutive sellout here at Fenway Park. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 7 Eastern here on ESPN, the Tampa Bay Rays are here at Fenway Park. As Boston opens up that series, the Yankees are off tomorrow. They'll begin a series with the Baltimore Orioles in New York Tuesday night. Two and two the count. Robinson Cano on deck should it continue. A run in the third for the Red Sox, two more in the seventh, an insurance run in the bottom of the eighth. Up 4-0 now, a strike away from victory. Teixeira doesn't like it, but it's over as Papelbon strikes him out. A 1-2-3 inning with a couple of strikeouts for Papelbon, and the Red Sox take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees and start to get themselves, Bobby, back on track.
It's what they needed. If you can win a series, you're on your way.
Josh Beckett led him 10 strikeouts. The first time he's had 10 strikeouts since July 27th, 2009. He acted like an ace, and they needed him to.
And tonight's Chevrolet player of the game is an easy choice, of course. Josh Beckett, as he picks up the win, goes 8 innings, gives up just 2 hits, walks 1, strikes out 10. As the Red Sox shut out the Yankees 4-0 and take 2 out of 3 over the weekend from their arch rivals. So the Yankees head home. Now 5-4 to take on to Baltimore Tuesday night. The Rays and the Red Sox here on ESPN tomorrow night at 7 Eastern. The final score from Fenway Park into Boston, the Boston Red Sox 4 and the New York Yankees nothing. Coming up next on ESPN, stay tuned for Sports Center. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Oral Hershiser, Bobby Valentine, Buster Olney, Wendy Nix, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Dan Schultz.